What's up, morning people? We actually have some people checking in on a Saturday morning. I thought it would be a rough time. Ben is live on Saturday. Yeah, I'm live on Saturday. You're not live on Saturday? What are you doing? Enjoying your morning or something stupid? Nah, we're here to get that bread, to get that stuff done. I put 10 a.m. on the calendar. And yeah, I'm never gonna give you up. Let's go. Yeah, I put it on the calendar, 10 a.m. Saturday. It was not easy getting my butt in this chair on time-ish. I'll give it, I mean, we were a little late getting on, but I think we mostly hit the mark for a weekend. We're fashionably late for a weekend. I think that's pretty good. But yeah, I woke up at 9. I heard about the Kendrick and Drake diss track, so I listened to those. Then I got ready, started some laundry that needed to be done, got my breakfast, so we're not hungry. We're hungry, but we're not hungry, you know? We're hungry for that code, for that JavaScript. I think we're in a good spot. Oh boy, didn't mean to hit play on that one. I'm just closing out of other tabs. There we go. It's late afternoon. Well, yeah, Europe. That's how it be. Good morning. Currently syncifying async functions by recreating web crypto. You see, y'all are poking fun at me for my choices on a Saturday morning, and Pilcrow is doing what probably only tens of people in the world have done at this time of day. He may be the only one that has done that on a Saturday afternoon. It's very possible. We're a little bit niche. That man is going completely ham. Saturday nights. I think you are the only human in history that has written async functions by recreating web crypto on a Saturday night. I think you're the only one that has gone up with async on a Saturday night. Possibly. I think someone at work is about to do the same. Maybe I should stop talking. We have a lot of great people, though. We got Pilker, we got Ed, we got Avats, we got Elian, we have Wesley Coder, we have Liam. Man, all-star cast. Maybe I should go live on a weekend more often. Async shop 256 is so lame. I know nothing about that. It doesn't sound fun. I'll give you that much. Yeah, it sounds less fun than what we're doing. It sounds a little less frilly than what we're doing. I stand by what we're doing, though. We need to do crypto in sync places. Oh, wow. This is not how I wanted to start off. Cool background track. Thank you. Is it a little loud? This is peaking a little bit more than usual. I'm going to dip it a tad. But yeah, this is, what is this? Holding On to You by DJ Cinema Courtier Latine. I listen to the playlist. I don't always check the artist. I've never heard of this track. It might be a new edition. Per usual, we're listening to Eelf. I plug this playlist all the time because it keeps delivering. And it's all underground stuff. This track is 6,000 plays. It's all underground. Keeps digging up gold. Really. It's such a good playlist. Go listen. Better than reading the OAuth RFC. Oh, sheesh. Sheesh. That's deep. That's a deep cut. Reading RFCs. I mean, I don't even want to read my own RFC, let alone that RFC. The OAuth RFC. Do we look it up? Is this a good morning paper to go read? RFC? Yes. Let's look. Hello, Aiden. Welcome in. You thought I was going to say Aoden. I hope not. It's crazy I never corrected myself on that. Okay, we had the Internet Engine. Whoa. Whoa, this is a cool name, though. The Internet Engineering Task Force. This feels like a Netflix spinoff from Space Force, if we ever had one. Request for comments? That's quite a few comments. Obsoletes. What is an obsolete? Are these all obsolete proposals? That doesn't really make much sense. Why is it, I guess that's the list of a number. Oh, this is probably just the number. Yeah, this probably isn't the number of comments. Oh, well, 2.0. Yeah. So the 1.0 is obsolete. We got the 2.0 here. Status of this memo. React could never. This is the Internet Standards Track document. What are we looking at? Wow. Is there a hot track on here that we have to listen to? Some of these look like deep cuts. Is there a single that we could go listen to? What do you think? Should we spin single number 4 or single number 2? What are we thinking? What are we thinking? I did think that, actually. You got it. Okay. Okay. I mean, the fact you thought it means the bar is low, but I'll try to bring it up. I brought it on myself. Everybody's probably reading this one right now. What are we looking at here? Avian characters of... What is this? Network working group. Experimental protocol for the internet community. I'm in the internet community, and for whatever reason, this one is not respecting my dark mode. I guess I'll use the extension because it's pretty much an unstyled page. This memo defines an experimental protocol for the internet. It's not telling me enough. The following quality of service levels: Concord, First Business Coach. Oh wow, what? Data delivery. To use using avian is this a joke? Is this a joke about using carrier pigeons? It's the only networking technology that earns frequent flyer miles? What? What am I reading? It is for IP over carrier pigeon. Okay. Frequent flyer miles. What? Yep. Per carrier basis by barcode markings on the wing. Oh, this is good. Oh, this is good. What is this little X right here? Is this the payload? I don't know. It's a broken link. It's a header link. Wait fair queuing may be implemented using scales as shown. Is it If it's heavier than a swallow, she's a witch. She's a witch. All right, we have 20 grams. That's lightweight. Yeah. The following is a plot of traffic shaping from cooperative host sites. Yes, that's true. That would be a flight pattern. Carrier pigeons normally bypass bridges and tunnels, but will seek out wormhole tunnels. Interesting. So we have to consider the preferences of the network. Yeah, when carrying web traffic, the carriers may digest the spiders. The carriers may be confused by mirrors. Round robin queuing. Oh, good one. Robins make for well-tuned networks, but do not support the necessary auto-homing. Oh, this is good. Yeah, as BOF. What is BOF? Was held that the only avian characters were allowed entry, so we don't know the results other than we're sure they think MPLS is great. What is BOF? I'm missing something on that. That's the only listing. Nats are not recommended either, as with many protocols navigating. Some of these are going to be inside jokes on network protocols that I don't know. You know, I only know TCP, UDP. That's the extent of my TLAs. 3-letter acronyms. Plus, avian characters may eat the gnats. So, is this a play? Is this a play on the word gnats? Encapsulation may be done with saran wrappers. Or saran wrap. Intentional encapsulation. I've never seen the word saran wrap written out. Is that weird? I've owned saran wrap for a long time, but I've never seen the word written out. For whatever reason, this is the first time that I've processed that. Loose source routes are a viable evolutionary alternative at enhanced standards. MS Windows compliant technology. Okay. Technology penguins, but that won't fly. Nice. Multicasting is supported, but required implementation of code device. Yep. Inheritance tree. Ooh, okay. Yeah, I mean, that is, you know, evolutionary biology, yep. The characters have an average time to live 15 years. Oh, that's so good with the TTL. Additional quality. Okay. Oh, wow, look at this. Some pseudocode. Definition of an avian character. Nice. Look at that. Little description. Definition. Pulse rate. Max access read only. Yeah, you probably don't want to write to the pulse. The pulse rate of character is measured in network. Frequent sampling is disruptive to operations. The carrier will not line up in lexicographic order. Okay. This is good. This is really good. Thank you for this. This is a gem. I'll toss it in our Discord. Let me hang on. It's tough when you got your job on Discord. It's mostly perks, I'll be real, but you don't want to open Discord and have like a business meeting pulled up or an internal meeting. But everyone go check out that RFC. This is hilarious. There we go. And anyone who doesn't know, we do have a Discord. I think everyone here knows about it. It's pretty quiet over there. If no one, I don't know if anyone's noticed, but I've been slowly deleting channels over time until at this point, we pretty much just have 3 channels. It could probably just be 2. Because I was like, okay, I keep putting stuff in announcements and I feel weird shouting into the void. It's not a lot of engagement. Let's delete announcements. The whiteboarding together, hasn't seen action, delete it. Music, hasn't seen action, delete it. I've learned my lesson with Discord. If you want to create a server, you know, for people to have fun, just start with a general channel and do absolutely nothing else. It feels like, oh, we're going to talk about so many things. You don't know. You're over abstracting. You got to start with one channel. And then if you really have too much traffic in that one channel, split out to a second one. Do it very, very rigorously. We've scaled it back. We've scaled it back, and I feel a lot better about it. Slad the Lad, welcome in. Good to see you joining our Discord. General and help for OSS. Yeah, I don't know if I want help. I mean, I did create the Simple Stack channel as a way to focus support requests if there ever are for those libraries. But people talk about the Simple Stack library in general anyways. So maybe I should change Simple Stack to just support or help or something. Would that make sense? Maybe. I'm also not sure. We can talk about just the existential crisis of Simple Stack a little bit here, because I'll actually share. I got a little invite on Learn with Jason, our boy Jason Lensdorf, to talk about Simple Stack. And I went radio silent because I didn't know what Simple Stack was going to be. And we're in a funny state right now with everything on this roster. So first off, Simple Form. This ended up being a prototype for everything going on in Astro Actions. And by the way, we're debating if it should be called Astro Actions, Astro Server Actions. We have no idea. There's no SEO for this. Okay, if I go to, whoa, not Gutenberg, GitHub with Astro Roadmap, sure. Yeah, go over there. Oh, and stupid dark mode, turn off. Yeah, we don't want that. Yeah, we got an Actions RFC over here. And pretty much everything that went into this guy ended up finding its way over here, including the form data parsing, all of it. So this library is more or less obsolete, and some people still use it and they love it, but it's a small and mighty user base. And it does have some features that Actions won't have, like input props. This generates all of the HTML props from a Zod validator. That just didn't feel right to include in Actions. It felt way too far. So this might still be a utility that is, you know, something we could put into the community. Also, client validation, I'm still debating if the way this is done fundamentally is a good idea. It dumps an example form into your code base with whatever framework you prefer. And it's fine, but of course, if you have code generation, you can't just update a package version because you just generated code into someone's code base. If you update what code you think should be there, the person has to manually go edit that code. It's not great. You're definitely locking yourself in. And I don't think we got the design right. I think we got it okay, but what this ended up being could probably be a best practice guide instead of a library that spits out code. I think it was too premature to write something that generates code. I think we can instead just write a blog post or something about how to do forms right and just keep it there. We already have a video on it too, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah, I don't know. So I feel like Simple Form more or less is dead because Astro does most of what we needed out of Simple Form and more, because you can use JSON endpoints and split it out to separate routes and all of that. It's pretty cool. So I feel like Simple Form might go away. Simple Scope is nice because it just does one thing. It generates an ID based on the file you're in. That's it. Feature complete. There's no reason to delete it. It still does something Astro doesn't. It would be cool if Astro had this as a first-class feature, but until then, this is a good library. So I feel like that stays. Simple Stream as well. I'll admit, I don't use Simple Stack Stream. I don't have a use case on my current websites. It's kind of funny. This was an engineering challenge that other people are using, but I myself haven't had a need for suspense yet. So that's why I'm in a funny state with this one. I love it, and Avat, you were an absolute genius who helped, push this thing through all the edge cases. So thank you. I appreciate that a ton. Someone is using it. We have a few people, actually. It's a small, mighty community. There's dozens of us. But there was one person on SST that was using it for streaming, and we worked out a couple issues together. Or we worked out one major issue with headers being incorrect, but we got it working. So there is someone using it with SST in the wild. Pretty cool. And it comes up in the Discord. Even if people don't end up using it, it's always a talking point of, I want to use Astro, but there just ain't the same primitives that I'm used to from Next. And then we link them up this library, and they're like, oh, there's suspense, never mind. And they may never reach for it, but knowing it's there as something very possible in Astro, it's kind of good for Next.js people. So it's definitely got its place. Simple Frame. This is a sneak peek from an old library preview. I was playing with some wackadoodle ideas. I wanted a API that let you re-render just little frames within the page. It works almost the same way as turbo frames. Almost the same way, without the DHH madness, obviously. And the light mode only. Oh my god, stop it. Oh, and I hate how this dark mode shows this weird sandstone color for the background. Why'd you do that? It's probably inverting the color directly. Yeah. But anyways, there were some cool ideas in TurboFrame. It's weird to use, like hijacking the source property. I just don't understand why they do this. But the concept is there. The idea that when you submit a form, you choose a window of the page that you want to process that request. So instead of re-rendering everything, it just re-renders that little window. So it's an in-between for like totally client-side JavaScript and just nuke the page. HTMX is also kind of similar, but TurboFrames is more focused on how the API works and what it does. It is HTMLX? Yeah, sure, it is. It's just more hunkered down. It's got a specific opinion of what re-renders. And HTMX is like, I don't know, man. Here's a query selector. Just choose where you want to dump this HTML. We don't care how you use it. This is more prescriptive. And I do kind of like it as a concept. But with prescription comes, restriction. Ooh, that's slam poetry. With, what did I even say? Did I just say with restriction comes restriction? I think I just said the same word twice. I can't remember. I can't remember what I said. But anyways, yeah, it's restrictive. It's more restrictive. You can't do everything you can do with HTMX, but the user experience might be simpler. It's that. They also say it's kind of like an iframe. That's the concept anyways. So when you submit a form and you're within this boundary, it'll only re-render stuff within this boundary. It might ask the server to render everything else. That's the interesting part. So it could wastefully re-render everything else on the page, but it's only going to hot swap the stuff inside of here, whatever happens with this form action. So you're scoping down what actually changes. And that can be really weird to use because you have certain parts like, why isn't that updating? Oh, shoot, that's why. It's a little weird. With prescription, you have restriction. That's what I said. Yeah, that's a quote. It's a quote. I don't think it's as mind-blowing as I thought it was when I said it. Never mind. But anyways, that's kind of where I'm at with the simple stack. Simple form probably going away. We'll turn this into a blog post or something. Scope is still here. Stream is still here. Frame, I just don't know if I even like the pattern. I'll be honest. I was being a little ambitious trying to form a pattern when I don't even know how I like to write code. We all do it. And in general, I think I want Simple Stack to be less a collection of libraries and more just a concrete set of tools that you're supposed to use to build something. That's what a stack is, conventionally. I was just building libraries to support that vision. But I didn't know what I actually wanted to use. And it could change over time, but I guess I'm landing on, I want to use Astro to build stuff. I want to use Astro DB and Lucia for like server rendered apps. I want to use Astro Actions for endpoints, obviously. Who doesn't? I want to use Cloudflare Workers. It may be a bad choice, but I want to bet on it this year just to see what we can push. I want to push something forward. And Cloudflare Workers is really exciting. The adapter for Astro is getting a lot of attention. So let's just try Cloudflare workers as a deployment target just to see where we land. It's not good for everything, but it's good for some things. And for interactivity, we used web components for this website. It was quite fun. Oh, we have to rebuild something. But I think Preact would be the answer I tell most people. Or just React if you say, I have a library I want to use. Okay, you want to use ShadCN. Use React. Yeah, done. You don't have a library you want to use. You're kind of hand-rolling your UI. I'm in the hand-roll UI camp because I think there's a lot of value in doing that. If you're like me and you just hand-roll stuff, Preact. It's good. It's got signals. It has a familiar hooks API if that's what you prefer. It's built for islands. You know, I never really considered that, but of all the frameworks, only Preact is really thinking about like embedded stuff. If you look at Svelte, it's mostly SvelteKit, and you feel wrong if you're not using SvelteKit for Svelte. Solid, they're super concentrated on solid start. If you're using it just for islands, it works, and Ryan is more supportive of that vision, but it's still, you know, a stretch. But Preact has no framework. There is no Preact framework. So you could just use it for all these little things. And you can see in their docs how much they care about that. Like, they've got a web components reference right here. Crazy. They've got, where was the other one? There was another really useful one. So they have server-side rendering, progressive web apps, web components. I don't think they talk about islands, but they do focus on just rendering components as a small little thing. And I quite like that. All Astro libraries should call it the A-team. Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah, the A-team. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. The A-stack. Yeah. Don't want to say the AAA stack because Alcoholics Anonymous, it looks weird if you have more than one A in an acronym. It just does. The A-team is pretty good. Some Ed Sheeran reference right there. And also they got signals. You know, like you're free to use signals. And I started doing that on this website just for fun. I refactored this guy to use some Preact signals, and I'm not even using Preact components anywhere. I was just like, hey, signals are cool. And we already had some nano stores for state management, and I thought, well, can these just be Preact signals? And they totally can. I refactored almost nothing, and it works the same way. Because it's a stupidly simple concept. You just change a value, and anyone who subscribes to it will update. It works the same way as most signal libraries. So yeah, we just have that now. And you can get and set with dot value. It's a little bit different. Usually you would have a getter and a setter, but here they actually say progress dot value equals, and if you assign to it, that will ping the subscribe method. It's kind of nice. For whatever reason, subscribe is not typed. In fact, none of this is typed. What? On my other computer, this wasn't a problem. Is it just the language tool's not keeping up? Maybe. Yeah, there's missing types. What's up with that? All right, we'll restart the extension host. I had this problem last time when I installed Preact Signals. For whatever reason, I had to restart my editor tooling for types to work. I don't know why that is. It's not like I have to install types separately. Yeah, see? There we go. We had the progress, and then the value's a number. Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. The beta fool that doesn't want to use collections. Honestly, amateur hour if you're just slinging your own MDX. Yeah. People use Remix for blogs. I just don't understand, man. Astro's got all the stuff you need for a blog. Why using another framework? Why reinventing the universe? I really dislike that. Yeah, extensions don't really keep up. And in Astro files, we have double the problems. It doesn't stay up to date. Yeah. Anyways, this is our website. And last time, Pilcrow heroically found our performance issue. Don't trust what comes out of Figma. Always look at the SVG. If you're exporting stuff from Figma, look at it, inspect the code, and look for anything that you don't need. We figured out there was this filter tag because filters can do all sorts of madness with rendering. And it was just tanking all these animations. Like, just moving this face around the screen was cranking your CPU to like 100%. And on a phone, it was unusable. But now, it's nice and smooth. Look how smooth it is. And you can hit erase, and that does that. You can draw stuff. That works too. I think our only problem left is desktop Safari on old computers. If that's you, if you're using desktop Safari, then you're going to run into issues. But if you're on the latest version of macOS, it works great. Safari versions. Such a mess. But anyways, we got some work to do. We do have some work to do. So we have this. Trying to hydrate. I haven't hydrated yet. Okay. Hydrated. That's good. It's really rainy here, too. This was definitely a good choice. It's a rainy day Saturday. This is the perfect time to do a little stream. What's going on here? Oh, Wordle. Yeah. I have a whole family group chat doing Wordle at this point. It's snowballed. Wordle's a very fun game. Y'all should definitely check it out. Pretty indie title. You may not have heard of it. All right. We've got the blog post done. I feel like this is feature complete. There's nothing else to do with the blog post. The, oh, that we actually caught it off guard. It looks like it didn't set at the right time. Huh. It looks like you can also kind of force the animation to go slower. Whatever. Let's go back over here. What all do we want to do? This animation's done. This is done. We do need to consider a mobile view, so maybe that's what we do first. Should we do a mobile view? Because if you look at this, this section looks good. This padding could probably use work, but for the most part, this looks good. This scales down perfectly. Yeah, everything inside of there scales. All the buttons work. I tested mobile Safari. The play button works fine. What else? I kind of do want it to play if you click on the television screen. I tell you, you gotta hit the play button, but nah, you don't really have to. I could probably change that. But what do we need to change? It looks like this works really well, and this is gonna go on a, yeah, you see how it goes vertical? Kind of cool little scaling choice. This is identical to my current website. But yeah, I'm gonna move this to an about page because you just don't need this on a home page, I don't think. If you want to learn about me, go to the about page directly. It just makes more sense. And I'll probably put the whiteboard over there on the about page so that the whiteboard kind of slides over when you go from Ben to about. Ooh, that'll look cool. That'll look really, really cool. We'll do a little view transition with that one. I'm excited. Okay. All right, I'm excited for the about page. Let's just build it. Let's just build it. I'm going to go to nav. We've got our set of links. We have Ben. We have blog. I think about usually goes as the second link if you're going to have one. So let's go about. About. We have blog. I don't think talks needs to be one. And videos go straight to whiteboardtheweb.dev. Like that. We have Ben. We have blog. Precisely. Yes. I used to call it like home or me, but then I was like, let's just call it Ben. I think it's kind of funny. Let's just do that. Oh, okay. So we have some pattern matching issues for absolute URLs. Sheesh. Can I use Astro with TRPC? Not even a little bit. Unless there's some magic you can do with TRPC config. No, I think they are separate libraries, sadly. If there's a way to bootstrap async functions and like wrap them individually, maybe. I know you could take our async functions and plop them into TanStack query and use them that way. So you could use actions with TanStack. And I think that would mostly get you what you're looking for. I think so. Because TRPC does have that advantage where you got the mutations and queries that you chain off. It will be a little bit funnier to do that kind of thing. It will be. We can't be all things to all people, sadly. Let me see here. We have link path equals that. URL path starts with. Oh, interesting. So how do we do this? Oh, because the path name of this is slash. Because the base URL is this. Oh man, that's interesting. So now we have this matching function that I think is using path name, and we actually want to pass ref. So maybe we should do that. Yeah, we have window location ref, and then we'll say link ref, and we'll do the same for the server version. Where do we have that? Yep, right here. We have the URL path right there. And we replace the $sign with that. So yeah, we can still use ref and expect it to work. Yeah. URL, we'll just call it URL. Oh, and that doesn't work. Yeah, these are, oh, so we have a mixture of pads and, yeah, we probably shouldn't be doing it like this, huh? Oh, it's always hard. Ben said no. That means we need to figure out how to do it. Well, I don't understand TRPC's boilerplate fully. I know that if you set up TRPC, it owns all the endpoints, and Astro Actions wants to own all the endpoints as well. So it's a competing standard there of TRPC has their own object and we have our own object. And they're different things that you chain off of. So I'm assuming it doesn't line up. Just a guess. Yes. Good day, disgruntled dev. Good to see you. So how do I want to do this? I could make it external path, like just make it something completely different, and then it will never match. That makes sense, because I don't even think we want to consider matches on that sort of thing. Let's just do it like this. Yeah, we'll do ext path. Or we could say external true, blah, 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 something like that. I also misread it. Ben said no. That means I need to figure out how to do it. Yeah, it just feels like a weird match. Like, I would definitely start using TanStack query with Astro Actions, because Astro provides an async function. TanStack gobbles up async functions. So it feels like you can make a little utility that is like a type-safe version of use query. Oh, maybe that is just rebuilding TRPC, huh? I don't know. Because I was imagining just pass the function to TanStack query. But if you build a utility, you might end up building TRPC yourself. I don't know. Briuni, hello. I'm doing well. How are you doing? Okay, I'm deciding how I want to do this. And you know what? Screw it. I don't really think I care. Well, I do want a type-safe object. So a list item is that or this. Yeah, it'll just be that. And we could also have type, but I don't really care to do that. Data active. Yeah, we could just do something like this. Oh, you can't type narrow that. Well, that's stupid. You can't type narrow that? Yeah, I know better. I know better. I know better. I know better. I do. Okay, so I just don't like the name path. Let's call it URL. And then we will say external boolean, like that. That seems like a type-safe object. And we'll just call this URL, and then we'll say external true, a classic, l.external, false, otherwise is match. There we go. That's cool. And it'll just be the URL every time. We go down here, and it'll probably be something similar. Is match. We have link.pathname. Interesting. Oh, that's always going to happen, isn't it? Oh, that sucks. Boo. Boo. Well, we could probably use window href. We could probably just href it like that. We could probably just href it. Let's see what we get. Okay, I think that worked. Oh, yeah, there's no about page. That's true. So if we go over here, yeah, no. I hate path matching. I hate it. This is stupid. What to do? Why is it doing it like that now? That seems weird. Okay, yeah, so that works. But now the client version is incorrect. Okay, here's a thought. I did some really weird JavaScript to animate this at the right time. Maybe it's time, and you see he's looking up at it like, oh, what'd you do up there? Good question. I wrote client-side JavaScript that mimics the matcher, so that way we can animate it at the right time. But here's the problem. You see how it's delayed after the animation? I don't like that. And someone said they thought it was broken, and that kind of hurt. So I feel like this client-side JavaScript doesn't even look good. So what if the real answer is just delete that code because it's bad? We remove isMatch. We inline it because now this is a server thing. Screw it. Just put this here. Put this right over here. No need to export anymore. And now it just works like this. No client version. And then we have a transition persist that we were using to JavaScript it, but we don't want it anymore. We're just going to do all of this with server diffing. Excuse me. We're going to lose a little spring animation, but I don't care that much. Yeah, see? So now it'll at least fade until we figure out how to make it look cooler. But yeah, this is just better for now. It does have a funny fade between the two. Seems like that'd be your thing. Why not slap a URL pattern? Ooh, aren't you getting fancy? Is that a can I use situation? Is that a can I use situation? It is. There's no Safari or Firefox support, sir. Wah wah. I don't think we can do that. If it's in Node, then we could do it server side only. Maybe that's what we... Yeah, the server side. Yeah. URL pattern, Node version. What version of Node do we need to get that? Well, there's an issue. I don't think it's closed yet. Are you sure this is in Node? I don't think we have this in Node. I don't think we have it. We have url.parse. I think I used this via the polyfill. Yeah. I mean, this algorithm is totally fine, and algorithm's a strong word. It's just, it does the bare minimum for what we're trying to do. Let's just keep it. Whatever. This is fine. This is fine. For the server side, at least. On the client, it was getting weird, but we just removed the client code. And this is gone. And this is gone. Cool. But I don't know what I want to do with the animation. I think each link should have its own transition name so that they all match up. That would be my guess. Because I want each one to sort of animate into itself. And here's a little experiment. I'm going to put a transition name on the whole group, and then I'm going to put a transition name on each link. And I'm going to see which one looks better. They might both look terrible. Let's find out. Nav group. And I'll go over here. Oh, no, that looks great. You see how the abouts kind of moves over? We didn't even have this in the old version, at least not really. So now when it fades up, ooh, that looks really good. Yeah, that looks really nice. It doesn't spring, and I don't know how to add that level of transition. But yeah, ooh, that looks good. That looks really good. I might even use simple scope just to give me like a scoped ID right here. So we're going to say scope nav group, nav list, whatever. So now it's a scoped ID. It's not going to conflict with other transitions on the page. There wasn't much of a risk, but now there's absolutely zero risk. Nice. Okay, that looks really good. Yeah, nothing to do. I do want the spring effect. I just couldn't figure out how to set the transition. Because you can do a view transition, but having the, what is it, the easing curve? Like, how do you edit the easing curve of a view transition? How do you do that? How do you do that? You're going to at least Google it, see what we get. Can you use one of those fancy variable fonts? Oh, God. So here's an issue. Atkinson, my favorite font. This is my ride or die. This is the Atkinson Hyperlegible font. It's super readable, and it is super techy. It's very stylized, and I love this thing to death. There's no variable version. They don't have a variable font for this. And I don't want to switch fonts just to get variable fonts. It's not worth it to me. So I get you, but also I love that font. Yeah. Pilcrow, yeah, thank you for coming through. Good to see you. I hope you enjoyed your light crypto reading before bed. I hope you did. Let me see here. Oh, yeah, and who's our, I'm forgetting his name. Who's the Astro community member that has been rocking on view transition APIs? Because we do have a PR as well. I can get his name from that. Unless it was merged. Hang on. Yes. Martin. Yep. He's got a lot of utilities out there. Not utilities, but example sites on how to properly use view transitions. This feels like the right deep dive to go down. We have VT Bot, technical demos and yes, for Bag of Tricks. What's the URL for Bag of Tricks? The Bag. Oh! Yes. I mean, just look at it. I mean, just look at it. Look at this. I'm ashamed of my own website now. How do you do better than this? You can't do better. It's even variable font sizing. Oh my god, it moves! Oh! 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 Come on. And we have all sorts of utilities here. Oh my god. Offers animation effects, and there's a little saxophone. Ah, it's so charming. The effect can be used as a drop-in replacement for fade and slide. This is Astro approved. Offers animation effects. Yeah, I don't think I need that one. I'm more interested in doing my own thing, per usual. He's got tech demos. The fish pond. Different directions for each fish pond. More than fade and slide. Yeah. Swing and zoom view transitions. Okay. We also have the carousel. We have loading. Add a loading indicator to your page transitions. That is nice. I may have to reference that. I can guess how you would do it from some lifecycle hooks, but I don't know. You're setting yourself up for gloom if you compare with Martin. I would never. I just watch. I just watch with awe and confusion. How does he do it? You see, this is where things get a little bit confusing to me. I was trying to create one of these objects myself, and I just couldn't figure out the right incantation. And that's what drove me to just not use view transitions. Because I can write CSS, but having to write JavaScript objects that kind of sorta map to CSS, it's a lot harder. I don't like the experience of doing that. I feel like there's something Astro could do to make the CSS side simpler. But I shouldn't say that until I've really tried to do it. We have zoom, I can't even speak. Zoom, swing, and move. What's move? The motion animation moves the content of a transition group alongside two connected edges in 3D space. For live examples, go over here. All right, none of these animations are specifically what I want. Swing might be the closest one. But what I'm interested in is, yeah. Oh, is this the full implementation? Under Node, custom swing generates a style sheet with the keyframe information and the defined CSS properties. You can add these extended styles to your page by using the animation style component. Whoa. Only animation style in conjunction with custom swing, not swing. Okay. Okay. Huh. So you have to use animation style. Why is that? Why do we have to do that? I mean, I guess we're editing something. I don't know. I was hoping I'd get more of a guide on how these things are implemented so I can better build my own. Because I'll go to the docs over here. This is what I was referencing at this point a month ago. We're on such a rabbit hole, by the way. This is not what I was supposed to be doing, but that's how it is. It's a weekend. We're allowed to do whatever we want. Where was it? Custom? Just look for the word custom. Yeah. Right here, all of this. I couldn't get it to work well. So we have a transition animation. But you can see right here, you don't just write this. You write this, within this, within this. Like, it is, sheesh. It is a lot. It is a lot of nested object. Shows all the necessary properties to define a custom fade animation. Except it isn't, because we have the old fade in and name fade out. And for whatever reason, this wasn't enough. I also had to write CSS, and the docs didn't tell me to do that at all. Do you have to have CSS that maps to all of these? You can also define your own animations for use with Transition Animate by defining both the forwards and backwards behavior as well as new and old pages according to the following steps. Yeah, let me just go after it again. Let me just get after it and see what we get. Do I put it on this? I never know where to put this property, but let's just play with some ideas. We have the, is it new and old? I can't even remember. I have no type checking right now. Forwards. Yeah, there's no type checking at all. Very odd. Oh, okay, so we do have type checking, just not autocomplete. All right, well, forge on. So we have forwards. Ooh, this track. This track is some Fortet, it feels like. Breach by 2XM. Pretty cool. It also feels like some Bicep. Does anyone listen to Bicep? I like their first album a lot. So we have old and new. Okay. And obviously this is not valid syntax. We're just playing with ideas right now. So we want the actual animation. Anim is equal to whatever we want to do. So we have name, delay, duration, easing, fill mode, direction. A lot of things. I think all we really need is the name. We don't need delay. We want duration, probably. We want easing for sure. That's the only thing that really, really matters. We have fill mode and direction. I don't know about those. I do not know about those. We will say name. Do we have to name them different things? I have no idea. We'll say duration is that a number? It is, okay. And delay, we'll just do easing. And I think I can just do this. Transition timing function spring 5. Oh my god, yeah, nailed it. We'll make the duration nice and long just to see if we see it. And I think old and new, we can just say anim, all the way down here. Anim. Like that. And we forgot a comma. Okay, so I just added my own little transition here, and I have no idea what this is going to do. Let's find out. Oh, God. It's doing something. I don't know what is happening, but it's doing something. Something not good. So what are we witnessing here? Okay, so it looks like it has the old and new overlapping each other, so we didn't define that. I don't know what fill mode even does. Like, we dump the properties, but we don't explain any of them. I have no idea what any of these do. I don't know where to begin. I could keep trying things, but Bicep is good. Yeah, nice. Glue and Apricots. Yeah. I know Apricots. It's a good track. Oh, and Glue. That was from their newer album, right? That was a good one. So, I'm a little disappointed, Martin, because you have all of these amazing, amazing utilities, but there's no tutorials on how to actually do it. Is it the Jotter? Is that where I want to go? Oh. Yeah, what's new? Maybe this is the docs I'm looking for. Okay. This explains how view transitions are set up. That's kind of cool. Oh, did anyone hear the camera? Oh, that's good. Yeah, nice. God, that's good. I mean, it's meant to be over the top. We don't need this on every website, but you're a view transition site. You have to do this. It's so great. What was that? It's a little camera shot. So this is the default fade animation. Okay, this is kind of the guide I was looking for, I think. So the animation is tied to root. This name is automatically assigned to browser to the HTML document element. During the animation phase, the browser inserts a tree of pseudo elements rooted on the HTML. Okay. If the only defined view transition name is root, the tree looks like this. Okay, so if you're animating the whole thing, you have a transition group, you have the image pair, which is the pair of the old and new snapshot. Nice. That's a pretty good demo thing, isn't it? It's so great. It's flashy. Like a camera. Get it? You can replace the default animation with something else, like a zoom effect. Wow, look at him go. I remember dreaming about this. Way back when I was building something with 11D, I was like, what if someone made the perfect library to do the iOS app effect? You know when you're on an iPhone and you click on an app and it zooms into view and animates perfectly? I wanted something like that app viewer for, you know, a website. And this is showing how comically easy it would be to do something like that with view transitions. At the time, that seemed impossible. It's like, oh my god, you have to set up the absolute positions and the padding, and you got to get the old and new and make sure they're overlapped, and just never implemented because it was insane. Yeah. Like this animation right here. This took me so much blood, sweat, and tears to do this. With the absolute positioning and the pixel heights, it was a mess. But with view transitions, this is nothing. This is absolutely nothing. And we're going to do something like that. You see this crossfade? You think this is where we stop? You think we just stop here? Absolutely not. Oh, and look at how it moves up and down. That's interesting. And why is the header taller? Oh, it's because of the table of contents. Interesting. I do kind of want the focused view. This is I'm going totally off track, but I don't care. There's this little effect that I did where it was really wide at the start, and then when you click into a blog post, you enter theater mode, where it like squooshes down. I just thought it was a kind of cool effect to have it slide in and slide out. Again, very painful. A lot of JavaScript, but with view transitions, we could totally do that little effect. I want to do that as well. But let's see here. We have clicking on the A elements backwards and forwards. Oh, no. Sorry. I need to look at these docs. Additional image pairs. You can define additional image pairs by giving DOM elements a view transition name. Some characters need to be encoded. / does not work well in all browsers. That's good to know. The special name none is used for transitions. Okay. Typically, the name is used once in the original document and once in the updated document. It's not necessary that the elements with the same name are also the same or even similar. Yeah, it's really cool that they can just be completely different things. The same name may mark a heading in the original document and an image in the updated document. If you have added the name of the view transition, my name, to the original. Yeah, okay. Okay. Yep. Morph animations. Yeah, this is wild. Yeah. For each pair with 2 images, the browser automatically defines an additional morph animation for view transition group with the same name. This animation transitions both images for portion, size, transformation. Yeah, things can get weird with that. But yes, you can do those things. Yep, the combined effect is the morphing parts of the screen. I can't totally tell what's happening with the words, but it looks graceful. Please note that the original elements of the new images are hidden during rendering. This leaves empty spaces in the render view, which are filled by the new images. Yeah, the red block on the right-hand side in the afterstate is not displayed while the animation is running. What do you mean? The red block on the right-hand side in the afterstate is not displayed. So you mean the actual element doesn't exist in the DOM until the morph is done? Is that what we're saying? I think so. Okay, I feel like I knew a lot of this. This is a useful little example. We have view transition old and new, and we're using a keyframe for the animation instead of a transition effect. Okay, we can work with that, I think. Yeah, so the old one, yeah, and we use a reverse for the new. That makes sense. This is about to get really custom, I think. All I really wanted to do was have a fade between the states and just let the morph do whatever it's trying to do. But set the easing curve to my own little easing curve. That's all I wanted to do. And I do think this object is confusing the heck out of me. And once again, I'm giving up on it. But we're not going to go run away to client-side JavaScript. We're going to run headfirst into some styles. So let's do it. How do you do a view transition named again? He told me, so I need to go read it. We have view transition name like that. Now, how does that work with view transition old and new? Okay, yep, right there. You can use a little parenthesis to make that work. All right, got to go. Good seeing you, Avats. Glad to have you, as always. Have fun morphin'. It's morphin' time. That's what our boy Morpheus told us to do. Let's see here. We want the transition old and new. We're going to say nav group. I don't think we can use our crazy scoping mechanism. I don't think you can use CSS variables either, so this is going to be the best we get. We have view transition old and new, and those are supposed to be the names, not in quotes, I don't think. And maybe we'll just copy the keyframe here to see if we get the same effect. Let's do that. It's good to start just from that. Let's do it. Let's just do it like this. And we'll say nav group, new nav group, like that. And then we have the zoom effect. And we'll set a transition name right here. Let's give it a go. What do we get? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Okay, odd. Something is wrong. There's a lot of things that could be wrong. It could be the scoping that Astro applies to styles. Like, I don't know. There's a lot of things that could be breaking in this flow. And it's hard to debug a view transition group because I don't think there's any dev tools that'll let you set styles for debugging. I don't think there are. Do we get view transition at all? Nope. Okay. Well, that's a shame. Do we have a transition name? We do. We do have that. Do we want to... I'm a little confused on how you apply the view transition groups. Do I want to wrap it with global? Or maybe I just want to move these to a global style sheet. That's probably a quicker way to do this. At least something that I understand, because I'm worried I'm going to break it by using the wrappers. Let's go like this and see what we get now. This is supposed to zoom the old and new, but I have no idea what it's about to do. Okay, yep, that does work. That absolutely works. It was scoping. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Interesting. Okay. So if you do an animation, though, doesn't that rip out the morphing? Because I do like Morpheus. I just wanted to change the easing curve of our boy. Is that as simple as just applying that? Transition timing function? Is it as simple as just doing this? And we don't need these? Is that all we needed to do? I have no idea. Let's find out. I can't tell because the transition duration is different. Now, I'm pretty sure transition doesn't mean the same thing here. Got to be careful with that because a CSS transition is not the same as a view transition. That's my understanding anyways. I can't tell if that's doing anything. I don't think it is. I'm just going to comment out all of this. Whoops. Why does it keep doing that? Why did you copy that line? I didn't ask you to. Yeah, it's not doing anything. So, is there a built-in way in Astro for Markdown collections to add header anchor links? That's a good question because I don't have those either. It's not automatic. You will need a Remark plugin to get that working. I would probably check what the docs use because I told you the blog post was done, but I'm actually not done. I will need to look at how Astro is doing that. If you go to the GitHub repo and just look at the Remark plugins being applied, probably going to be good enough. Probably. Astro config. Wait, there's no Astro config because it's a Starlight site. Frick. I don't know then. I don't know. Yeah, it does say to use Remark. I just don't know what the plugin would be. Oh, thank you. It does generate heading IDs, but the answer is... Yeah, we inject the ID, but we don't have the little, like this guy. Are you talking about this guy? Because, yeah, we don't have the hover link option. It should add IDs automatically. But if you want this little hover boy, you're going to need a plugin that applies the hover boy. You don't want to override this. I would not override this one. I think this is to add customized slug generation. We do generate the ID for you, but what else is there? There's auto link headings. Maybe that's the one we want. Yeah, they are different. So, and I can show you, if we look at this blog post right here, we have IDs for each of the headings. If I inspect this, right, we have the ID right here. And you can use that for jump links. I already do that for the table of contents right here. This is linking to the individual headers, and you can see it updating in the URL bar. All of that is built in. But if you want the copy-pastable icon, I think you need this, but I don't know if this is the one. I don't know. Yeah, okay, so it looks like it's adding a little link. It is adding an icon link. So yes, this is probably what we want. Rehype auto link headings. Yeah, give this one a try. I haven't used it. You may have to add your own custom icons in order for it to display properly. But I'm going to go down this journey as well. I'm going to keep going with view transitions, but I'll go down this journey as well. Maybe on this stream. I don't know. Okay, and I also do need a little bathroom break here. So, BRB. BRB. Is that good? Yep. Our little boy Houston saying BRB. I'll see y'all in a minute. There we go. There we go. We're so back. Oh. Okay. Let's go back to screen sharing. Had a little think about all the pieces, and I'm thinking that we're on the right track. So let me experiment with something here. Animation, 700 milliseconds, spring. What does both mean? I actually have no idea what both does. Reverse both. What do you mean reverse both? What is both? I've never seen this property in my life. We have normal. I've seen that. But what is both? What is that doing? What does that do? Come on, load. Why is my internet slow today? Or maybe MDN is slow today? What the heck is going on? What's going on with the internet? That's some BS. Where's my MDN? I can't turn off Wi-Fi because then I end the stream. What? What's going on with MDN? Is anyone else having this problem? I've seen this happen with Wi-Fi just, I don't even know. Working? Yeah. Wi-Fi's fine. Ah, that's so strange. Well, okay, we can't use MDN today. Anyone else having problems with MDN? No idea. Yeah, I don't even know what both is doing, so let's just not use it. DNS is hard. It sure is. Yeah, we'll just call it this, spring forward, because we can't reverse the spring very well. We're just not going to. We'll just say from transition scale 1 to transition scale, we'll make it very subtle and say like 1.05 or something like that. And we will, I think we already have the easing curve set by doing this. So we'll do the same thing for spring backward and just reverse it. Cool. And I think we got these crossed. That's spring backward. This is forward. Now let's check that out. I know what this is going to do, and it's not the exact thing that we want. So that's interesting. This is like springing the effect, but then when the animation is done, it doesn't overlap with the actual content. They both jiggle in and out in an odd way. That makes sense. What I want to do, just tested the plugin does work. Yay! Okay, good. Yeah, now you're just going to have to style those links. You're going to need a global CSS property, but it should work. Okay, so this isn't what I wanted. Because what's going to happen, we're going to have the old and the new, and the old one's going to spring while the new one's happening, and you get this uncanny overlap of the old and new state. It's totally wrong. We want the morph. We want Morpheus. Let's see here. Yeah. Browser automatically defines an additional morph animation. Yeah. The animation transitions both images from the portion slides to transformation. It's great. But how do you control it? He says you can control it, but then doesn't go into any detail. Oh my god. Wait, it didn't actually go anywhere. Oh, okay. Pseudo scrolling the main area. What are we looking at here? You jump me right into the middle of a story. What story are you telling? So we have view transition name that. Animation duration. You can do that. Can you... Oh, am I just getting the properties wrong? Animation... Yeah, so we could say animation timing function. Is that what we wanted this whole time? That would be so funny if this is all we had to do. Is this all we had to do? Instead of transition? No, I don't think that did anything. I don't think that did anything. Let me also just change it to 2 seconds, which is too long, just to see what it looks like. Yeah, okay, so it is 2 seconds long, but the actual fade is still, that's so weird. So what we did here, and you see how it's unresponsive for 2 seconds? It increased the animation, but the animation still happens in the same window. So weird. So yeah, none of this actually does what you would want. It's getting somewhere, but it's not doing it. Yeah, doing animation duration doesn't do anything. So weird. We need Martin on the stream. I think Martin would know what to do, but I don't think these docs are taking me where I need to go. Getting rid of the morph animation is easy. Add this to your global style sheet. Makes total sense. This removes the morph. When you press the link without scrolling, it looks like it did before. Yeah. The problem is these are such new APIs that I don't think there's that many guides that will help me. And I don't think MDN works. We had this page already, so luckily we can use this, but... Morph. Not even on the page. Rough. Look at that. You can change the duration, but it doesn't care. And yeah, you can grow the new figures in and out, and that would work. I know. It's just, that's not what we want. I don't think there's anything on this page that's helping us. Ooh, isolation auto. Let's go. Prolid time? We ain't proliding. What is prolid? That was the joke from last time, wasn't it? That's so funny. Firefox doesn't have start view transition at all. And Safari doesn't? I don't think that's true. Is that true? I thought Safari announced support. Maybe it's out of date. I don't know yet. How do you do it? Man, my internet. Okay, there we go. And let me also, I'm sorry, y'all, but no, don't show my passwords. Yeesh. No. That would have been scary. There we go. I've read this blog post a couple times. I know everything about that. But if you change the animation duration, it doesn't do what you're telling me it does. You're telling me, oh yeah, it'll be slow now. It isn't. It doesn't work. It morphs without doing what I want at all. It's so strange. It doesn't do what I want. If I go over here, we have transition name, nav group, yes. And it increases the length to 2 seconds. But it doesn't change the actual fade at all. It just makes the elements unresponsive for 2 seconds. Which tells me it's working, but it's not affecting the actual thing. Like if I click on this, oh, the stupid... See, this is why you should not... Stop it! This is why you should not use the dark mode toggle. Because it just breaks... Look at this. It just breaks websites that are well designed. So annoying. Grr. Anyone who has Dark Reader on all the time, you're just insulting designers, I'll be honest. Oh, wow, wait, that worked. Why is it working now? That's strange. I wonder why it's doing that. But this is kind of nice. You can see exactly what's going on. But it looks like it's not actually doing the effect that I expected. Because when I looked at it, when I just watched it happen really, really fast, it looked visually nice. But I guess it's fading, and I just can't tell with the naked eye. I guess I just can't tell. And is that actually the correct thing? Is this actually what it's called? Transition timing function spring 5? It is. It is actually what it's called. So if I put this on here, maybe I just had some stale styles and it was breaking. I have no idea. Okay, so the timing function is not cooperating at all. If we remove that, it does the correct fade. Okay, interesting. Maybe I just want it on the new. I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. So weird. What am I looking at here? Okay, yeah, so that makes sense. We have the old and the new. They're not actually fading into each other. They're doing something totally different. And one has a different timing function from the other, so it just doesn't work. Is timing function actually what I want? I think so, but it just doesn't look right. It seems like the duration and the timing function just don't line up with each other. And I don't know why that is. Ooh, I do have this conflicting thing right here. Maybe that's causing an issue. Oh, wait, no. That is for a different animation. We need to leave that. Huh. I don't know, man. I don't know. We have transition transform eSpring 5 on this, and I don't think we want that anymore. I don't know if this is causing anything at all, but I know we don't want it. So I'm just going to remove it for now. I think that's a smart call. I also feel like the transition names should line up here. Can you have multiple elements with the same transition name? My understanding is no, you can't, but I need to test it. My thinking is, yeah, you can do that, but maybe not. I think we'll also get like an error somewhere. We have default levels. Oh, and I hate how Tailwind does that. For whatever reason, Tailwind v4, just all the styles break when you... Okay, so that broke everything. We got to do... I don't know. Can you not have the same nav group? Can you not do that? Do they have to be unique? And if so, what the frick am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do here? So you have to have unique names, but they're different links every time. So what do I do? I can hard code everything. It just seems kind of stupid. It just doesn't seem like what I want. I could hard code each individual link name, but I think we're going too into the weeds there. I don't think it has to be that precise. I think you just keep it where it's supposed to be. And you're good. I think it's supposed to just be on the parent and you move on. That's my understanding. So I don't think our timing function works at all. The problem is this won't be very perceivable, but I'm at least going to do it. Using linear timing with animation just does not work for whatever reason. It's also not figuring out that these things need to morph into each other. It's just not figuring it out. How do you make it figure that out? I can't have unique names for every link. Well, I can, but that just seems wasteful. Won't that slow down the browser? I'm surprised I need this, but I'll do it. So, yeah, an ID or something. I don't know. I can take the L and use the URL. I can do that. For now, I'll just use this as the name. It's not serialized, though. Okay, so it looks like that is working. Huh. This is not the animation I expected. So the fade out is of different speed compared to the fade in. Huh. Okay. Oh, I kind of see what's going on. So now we've created different transitions for each one of these. Weird. Weird, weird, weird. It's getting weirder every time. The problem is we need to map these names, but they're all hard-coded. And I don't even know what they're calculated as because of the serialization and that garbage. What does this actually output? We have data transition scope, view transition name, blog. Oh, okay. So it's chopping off the slashes and such. And this is empty because of how it works. Use the index instead. That's not a bad idea. I think that'll work better than what we're doing here. Good point. So let's do or link. You know, we'll do it like this. So this is link index. That's a little bit better. And we'll just style all of them. Just hard code it for now and see where we end up. That seem right? Seems right to me. Yeah, and we'll just do a little comma separation on that one. And we'll just say link 1, link 2, link 3. Yep, and we'll duplicate this for new as well. Yeah. This is such a mess, but it's my mess. We just gotta see if it works. Right? We'll just do it like this. And see what the heck we end up with, because I have no idea. Okay. Oh god. Yep, stop it. Stop being stupid. Okay, interesting. That is working. So it's also scaling up and then realizing, oh shoot, I shouldn't have scaled up like that. Do I have a scale somewhere that I just don't know about? I think I do. And I just need to remove it. Yeah, right here. I don't need that. Yeah, we have that set up right there. And I think we can say transition all spring. Do we have that? We do. We'll say eSpring 5 duration 500, and we'll just see what that does, because we're getting results, surprisingly. No. Do I even need any of this? Because it seems like it's respecting the transitions. Okay, so animating bold has a weird effect. It feels like some uncanny valley is happening here. I think it's just not transitioning that, which is totally okay. It just looks a little bit funny how the rasterization and stuff happens. Yeah, I can explain the Tailwind stuff in a second. Totally. But let's see here. Can we just... Is this the final piece that we need? Do we need to do it like this? Can we just do it like that? I wonder if you don't need the transition name because it's a pseudo selector. Maybe we can get by with something else. Let's see. Okay. No. No, it's not working. Frick. Why not? Yeah, for whatever reason, you just can't use a spring effect for an animation timing function. You just can't do it. It doesn't care. It doesn't want it. Stop trying. And if that's the case, then all of this was kind of a waste of time. Kind of a waste of time. Maybe we have competing transitions and animations. Maybe that's our problem? I have no idea. Remove that. Remove everything we don't need. Yeah, it transitions quickly, and then the animation is not. And for whatever reason, it's also, like, moving. Why are you doing that? It's still scaling, even though I deleted the scale. Stop it. What's going on? I must have something that still scales. There's only one match for scale, and it's on a completely different element. What have I done? Why is all the timing just wrong? I probably need to sandbox this because it's not working. Isn't scaling, it's the bold? No, it's not the bold. Because don't you see how it's like scaling and then doing that? Like, why are you doing this? And why is only some of it 2 seconds long? Why is that quick and that slow? Why are they different durations? Where are these durations even coming from? I don't understand. There's so much I don't understand. There's probably a bunch of styles applied by Astro and other sources that are conflicting, and I just don't know what they are. And I'm just fighting them right now. I'm fighting someone that I can't see. And it's a problem. It's making this a lot harder. Maybe I need to say transition animate none just to force my own thing. Maybe I need to force this just to get something out of it. Okay, so this is the default behavior, somehow. I don't even know why animate none does what it does. I really don't. So there's a default fade. It's applied by the browser and other things. It's making the fade slower, but the duration of the morph is uncontrollable. It just happens no matter what you do. Which is very strange. Don't even know what to make of that. Is there a way to... Is the height on the nav change? I don't think there's a change of height. Where are you seeing that? There might be. I just don't think there is. I could hard code the nav height and see if we get a better experience. I don't know. Sucks. Nope, that's not what I want. This isn't what I want either. There's ways to force states in the DOM. Nope, don't do that. Yep, you can't do it with transitions. You can force element state, like active or focus, but you can't do anything else. Kind of a shame. So what is happening in the DOM when this happens? We have that view transition state right there. It won't let me actually inspect it, though. That's what sucks. I can't actually see the animation. And screw you, Tailwind, for doing what you're doing. Is there a way to pause a view transition? I just need to see what that class is. I have no idea what it is. I'm going to make the animation stupidly long. Okay. Now it just happens. And what? It doesn't care. So we have the root, which is applying its own styles. We have transition fade out. Okay, interesting. We do have position absolute, inline, blah, 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 blah. Duration and fill mode are inherent. So I think it's the root animation conflicting with the link animations? Question mark? That's just a thought. And then we have this one, transform scheme, writing mode, backdrop filter, all of that. The transition group does some position absolute. Animation duration, okay, fill mode both. So maybe it's that. Maybe it's the whole transition group here that we need to edit. I'm being really careful because I think if my mouse exits the thing, it will go away. I'm pretty sure I have to be precise here. Okay, so the image pair doesn't matter. Okay. I think it's the transition group that is causing issues for us. I think, but I have no idea. Actually, yeah, let's test that theory by just styling the group. So we have group, 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 group. We're going to delete all of these. We're going to change the animation duration to something reasonable again. 2 seconds. That's fine. We'll change the timing function, but I don't think there is a timing function for this specific part. Oh, I think it was actually working. Yeah, it is. It is working. Oh my god, did I just need group instead of old and new? That's wild. That's kind of crazy. I think now our issue is it's just not that perceptible. You know, it's a pretty subtle and it's a very subtle animation, so making it exaggerated is not the easiest thing to do. You would need scaling to make it really pop. So maybe we'll add the scaling back and see how it looks visually. I don't know. Now I'm wondering if I could just move the transition back up. I also don't know if the animate none was necessary. It kind of was. Yeah, it looks like that is working how I want it to. So if we kick this back to 500 milliseconds, what do we got? It doesn't look great because the text is kind of flickering. I don't know what that is, but it's like some aliasing issue. It's not animating in just the right way that I want, but it is way closer. I think we finally figured something out. Thank God. All right, I kind of want to try to do this. I kind of want to do this. And it doesn't really matter. Those other ones will just be bad targets. That'll do. Let's see. Whoa. Yeah, it doesn't work. It doesn't work at all. Okay, interesting. Had to try it. It's kind of a shame we have to animate each one individually, but we'll take it. We'll take it. It's fine. So now what? We want to tweak a few bits and bobs here. Transition colors. Oh, do we even need that anymore? I don't think we do. I don't think there's any transition on the colors. I know what that was from. This is just cleanup from a totally different refactor, but I'll just remove it while I see it. We have opacity changes on the LIs. I don't know why. Oh, I know why we do that. That's totally separate as well. So we have these parts. We could probably do a scale thing. Scale 100, data active. And this is a little demo for you, the person that was wondering about active states. So if you have a data attribute, you can target changes to that attribute using data. So data is this little property that we're applying right here. And it's toggling between true and false, depending on the link that's currently on the page. So if it's the current link, it's going to have data active applied. And you can put data brackets active to say when that attribute is live, I want you to apply these styles. And when it's not active, I want you to apply something else. So the fallback is here, data active is this. It's pretty straightforward. And you can also use it for groups. So I assigned a group name up here, just called group. And we can say when that whole group has data open, style the children in a different way. So that's a way that you can sort of do stuff that cascades down. Tailwind doesn't love the cascade, but you can do cascades there. Okay, I don't know if that did anything. Is that, I think it does make it just a little bit bigger, which is kind of nice. But what I don't like, do you see the flicker and just the jank that you get? I think some of it is if you have a crossfade, it doesn't quite line up with linear, so you get a slight fade out and fade in, which you don't want. For whatever reason, the text is like rasterizing a little bit differently. And I don't know why that is. Is it the bold? There's so many things it could be. I just don't know what it is. It's just not animating the way that I would want it to. It's like during the animation, the text has a slightly different weight. And also, on the first transition, everything just explodes. And I don't know why that is. On follow-up animations, it looks good. But on that first animation, it is a mess. But yeah, the text rasterizes in a funny way. I don't even know if that's the right word. But yeah, it looks very messy. Remove the bold just to see. I think I'm going to need to. Yeah, let's see here. We have the font bold. Where's bold? Here. We'll remove that, and we'll see if we get something better. You see, what's going on with that? I think it's just styles unloading and... Oh, why are you doing that? No, it does the same thing. It has nothing to do with the bold. I also like that the bold makes the nav move around just a little bit. It makes it feel more like jelly. I also think it's the... I think it's rendering the homepage for the first time, which causes a really big jump. But you see what I'm seeing, right? You see it too. It's really subtle. If I zoom in, it's more obvious. You see how the text kind of settles? Oh, I actually don't see it on the live stream. Oh, no, I do. It's really subtle. You see it? Yeah. What's up with that? It's really weird. I don't know why it's doing that. Trying to get font weight to gracefully transition from 400 to 600 in CSS, but it doesn't appear to work in Chrome. The problem is that font weights represented numerically must be multiples of 100. Well, absolutely, yeah. Oh, interesting. I didn't know about that. But I've never had the issue. Now we could, because there was something about blend mode or whatever. Maybe we need that? I don't know. There was something in here. There was something wackadoodle. I also don't know how to pause it so I can see what the heck's going on. But maybe we just need to Google it. Yeah, so we have this. Oh, MDN's working now. It might have just been a small hiccup. So we have position, top left, animation. Animation fill mode might be the issue. I don't know what animation fill mode does, but I could imagine it's doing some wacky snapshot stuff. And as a view transition to image pair, which you almost never want to style, according to Adam Argyle. And I believe it. What is animation fill mode? Sets the CSS animation styles to its target before and after its execution. So if you say none, if you say both, what does that do? I don't know what it's doing. Sets how a CSS animation applies styles to its target before and after its execution. It's often convenient to use shorthand property animation. Animation fill mode, multiple animations, wow. The animation will not apply any styles to a target when it's not executing. The element will instead be displayed using any other CSS rules applied to it. This is the default value. I wonder if I can say animation fill mode none. Because I think what's going on is it's applying stuff and then it settles at the end of the animation. We'll just do this and see what we get. I don't know. We're just trying things. I hate how the styles reset there. Unfortunately, doesn't change anything. I was feeling pretty good about that. Because reading the docs, it feels like there's just some stuff that it could be doing. Yeah, it looks like some styles jump into view when it's trying to pre-process this page. I don't know what's up with that. If we have prefetching, maybe that's avoidable, but I don't know if it is. It also seems like it wants to move, and then it realizes based on the layout that it shouldn't be doing that. Painting order? I don't know. Different font? I will never use a different font. I could use Ranga just to debug, though. Yeah. We could use a different font just to see what's going on. It could be that it's falling back to, like, the font on my machine, and then it's loading the font in the browser. I don't know. It could be. So this is not the text that I want. I'll just do it anyways. If we have font family var, go to my Tailwind classes. What did I call it? Font family sans, font family heading. This is going to be ugly because this font is not meant for small text, but we're at least going to look at it. It does look kind of cute, though. No, it does the same thing. I'm surprised. It does the same thing. The spring is there, and that's kind of fun, but yeah, it does a little squish and squash. The paint order CSS property lets you control the order in which the fill and the stroke and the painting markers of text content and shapes are drawn. Okay, interesting. Paint order. Let's take a look at that. Paint order stroke draws the stroke first, then fill and markers. This is really deep. So what do I want to use? What do you think? I can try all of these, but I don't know which one I want. Draws the stroke first, then the fill, then the markers. I don't know what any of those are. Let's try that one. I don't know. I'm also kind of liking this Ranga font for the... Am I weird for liking that? I mean, the text is too small, but am I weird for kind of liking this? It's kind of a vibe. It's kind of a vibe. That did nothing. Oh, I don't think this is actually where it should go, though. I don't know. Should it go here? I don't think this is actually doing anything. I think the problem is you notice it with the spring. I like that too. Me too, yeah. I think the problem is if you just did a regular animation, you wouldn't even notice. At least it's not as obvious. Okay, it's pretty obvious. That's a lie. But if it was faster, if we just went to the default, pretty much. Yeah, you don't really notice it anymore. It happens. It's just because it mixes with the animation, you don't notice it as much. That's what's up. And why are fonts unloading and reloading in the worst way possible? I mean, it's transition related probably, so yee! Yeah, exactly. I mean, hey, you took me exactly where it should be, I don't think. I think you're right. Draw the markers first, then fill, then stroke. I feel like we would want the fill first? I don't know. I'm just guesstimating what these things are. I don't think it's actually related to this. Because if I just go through these one by one to see which one is the culprit, I don't think any of them are affecting this. I think it's different still. CSS text looks weird during animation. Web text aliasing gets weird during CSS3 animations. Yep. I've uploaded a short video explaining explain the issue because it would be nearly impossible to explain via text. Yep. My old answer below works, but it's hacky. Okay, yeah, backface visibility hidden. The presence of these decorations causes WebKit to use hardware acceleration for the animations, which prevents the problem you pointed out. Huh. Honestly, I'm not sure why it does it, and I assume it's a bug. You can prevent it by adding a 3D-related class. Oh, I've seen this kind of thing before. Let's try it. Let's at least give that a go. Oh my god, what happened there? What? Oh, I see. So the translate Z is doing something awful to the text, but it is, at the very least, doing something correctly. Oh no. Okay. Oh no. It doesn't work when you, I don't think it's solving our issue. No, it's not doing it. I don't think this is solving our issue. I should probably watch his video to see if it actually is our problem. And also, why is the font unloading when it goes to the new page? Only sometimes. What a mess. Why are you doing that? Stop doing that. That's stupid. Why are you doing that? I want it to be perfect. Oh my god, we've been at it for almost 2 hours. I should probably stop here and say it's good enough. We got a lot of what we wanted. Rewrite in Rust. No. Oh god, that's when you know you need to shut it down. It's when you know the chat's getting antsy. We need to shut this down. We need to get out of here. Okay, so we did this successfully. We figured out how to get the spring. We accidentally discovered a better font for our headings. I don't love it, but I do prefer it to what we had before, so I'm going to keep it. I'm going to keep that one. Okay, one little refactor I want to try. One little refactor. I want to take the LI. I want to take the LI A tag. And I want to apply it this way. Instead of using names, I just want to do it like this. And fill mode didn't do anything, so let's remove that. I want to do it like this instead of a global class. And I'm just going to see if this does what we want. I have no idea if it will, but let's find out. It does not. That's disappointing. So we have to enumerate every view transition group. That sucks. That really sucks. That really is not what I wanted. I was not expecting that. But I guess the transition groups are global to the browser. They're not scoped. So, of course, you can't scope it. You have to use global namespaces. There's no other way to do this. That's a shame, but I do understand why. God, we get the worst jumps that we used to not get when we just had transition persist. I don't know if it's a net win. I think if we deploy to production, we'll have a better idea of what's going on. So let's do that. I'm also gonna do a little bit of styling here. We said animate none to remove the fade. We have our custom style there. We have all of that. We have a little scale effect. View transition old nav group li. Yeah, but that's not gonna scope it at all. Does this work? I don't think it does, because we need individual groups for each one. We actually need to apply styles. Oh, I kind of get what you're saying, though. I kind of get what you're saying. Because that would... We want to get the global transition group, and then we want to apply it. I don't even think you need nav group at that point. Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. That does make sense. Let's just style the A tag like that. In fact, can't we just do this? Do we even care? I don't think we care. But oh, we want to apply it to the transition group, not the link. I could be wrong. I don't know if this works. It doesn't work. No, you want to apply it to the transition group. You're not styling the element. You're styling a snapshot of the element. It's an entirely different thing in the DOM. So you can't style the LI. That's not how it works. These are unique elements in the document. They have nothing to do with the A tag. They're a screenshot of the A tag. And that's why it's weird to style. You have to have global namespace. It's so annoying. I understand exactly why they do what they do, but it still bothers me. It's still annoying. Okay, so let's head over here to the font where we applied it. Where did we apply that? I think we applied it to the LI for no good reason. Let's just remove that. And we'll say font heading. And then we'll say brain fart. Font or text Large. Just to make it a little bit bigger. Nope, it's actually XL, I think. This is not the name of the class. Wait, there's 2XL, but there isn't XL. Why is this not working? Wait, why is the text size not applying? Do we have competing text sizes? Yeah, we do. Silly me. Why'd I put it here? That doesn't make any sense. It should go up here. There we go. That looks elegant. Wow, that looks really good. Yep, I should have tried this. I might want more letter spacing because it's smaller. You know what I mean? Can you style letter spacing? Yeah, no. I understand why. That's a pretty custom property. Letter spacing. And I don't know what I want it to be. What is that? What would that do? Okay. So if you say 1, does that space it? Yeah, okay. Got it. This is a vaporwave right there. So if you said 0.1, that would spread it out a little bit. It does look better. It looks a little bit unnatural, but it's probably fine. Yeah, I think that looks a little bit better. What does tracking mean? What does tracking do? Is there a reason against what I'm doing here? There might be. Oh my god, why does it unload the font? Why would it unload a font that's already loaded in the browser? That doesn't make any sense. Tracking down. Oh, in Tailwind. Okay, cool. I'm surprised they let you style that. I thought this would be a bad practice to even edit. Huh. Wow, interesting. So we could say tracking wide, and I don't know what that's going to do. That's probably going to be too much. Okay, yeah. Do I like this? I kind of preferred the other one. I don't know. Do we like this, or do we kind of prefer this version? It's so subtle, I know. But which one do we prefer? I can't even tell. Yeah, I know. There are a lot of bad practices Tailwind lets you do. But that's kind of the point. Okay, we'll just do tracking wide. I think it looks good. Why does it do that? I'm gonna deploy to prod to see if it happens in prod. Refactor, view transitions for nav. That was so much that we learned. That's true. We learned a lot about view transitions, so it was not useless. We definitely learned a lot. Okay, I think the letter spacing is too much. I think the letter spacing is unnatural. This spacing right here between the L and the O is just not good. I don't know. I really don't know. I believe it is a bug in dev related to caches between builds. Oh, okay. Well, I'll trust you. Let's see what happens on biomes dev pages.dev. We're waiting on the prod deploy still. Waiting on it. It'll come. Eventually. But yeah, I do like the stylized header links. I think it does add a little bit of pizzazz. And hey, maybe that... Oh, and look at it spring down just a little bit. That's kind of fun. It wasn't intentional, but it does look good. Okay, so now that we're done, finally, with some nav header stuff, let's play with an about page. That's what we were doing. That's what we were doing. We went down such a rabbit hole, all because we wanted an external link. And suddenly, we had a Pandora's box of everything else that we needed to do. But it was bothering me. We did need to get that work done, so check that off the list. It wasn't on the list, but we added it and checked it off immediately. It's like the Obama giving himself a meme thing. After lots of docs reading, I got the links. And they were already showing, to be fair. I was just using client.js and other things. And we had to open a Pandora's box of view transitions to know what to do. That was the first time I've written a custom view transition. So hopefully those skills transfer to something else someday. Oh yeah, base layout. There we go. Title equals about Ben. I think that's kind of cute. And we'll say in brief, because that's a separate component right now. There's no reason for it to be, but it is. Okay. So now we have this set up. Okay, that makes sense. Now we're going to need some styling. I would love to have the whiteboard on here. So let's just embed the whiteboard component and see what that looks like. Look at that. You can just embed the whiteboard. Oh, okay. So a little styling issue with the markers, but overall it merges. 75th. 75th. Where do you get that number from? Do we have 75 concurrent viewers? That's pretty good. If so, I don't even know. Subscribe for the 11 months, dude. You're awesome. Thank you so much. And there was another subscriber earlier. I forgot to congratulate. For Uni. Thank you for the 2 months. Always good to have you here. And by the way, I never know how many viewers I have until I end the stream. And I think it's a really healthy habit. Because I don't have to wonder, oh God, am I losing engagement? Oh no, what did I say? No, just be yourself. Be yourself, the rest will follow. I'm not here for the money. If I was here for the money, I wouldn't be on Twitch. I would just be in a hole making YouTube videos and maxing out my sponsorships. That's what I'd be doing. All right, so let's go class. Flex, max width. Do we have a max width pros? Are we using that anywhere? We're using it in a couple places, actually. Let's give that a go. It might be too narrow, though. Let's find out. So we have flex. We have a gap of something big like 8. And that'll just give us a simple, squished layout at the moment. Let's do max width 100 CH. Something like that. That's too big, surprisingly. Is 100 CH just... How is there such a difference between 80 and 100? I didn't expect that. Let me go 85. I think there's something broken here. Because if I go 80, it works. If I go like 81, all of a sudden it breaks. What's up with that? That's weird. Isn't that weird? Why would that be happening? Huh. What's going on? Yeah, for whatever reason, it's not applying custom max widths. We're on Tailwind v4 Alpha, so weird things can happen. All sorts of weird things can happen. This is one of those weird things for sure. For whatever reason, it's not applying... Oh, is this just because I'm using... Is this Tailwind compilation issues? I'm using a class that hasn't been used in the project before, and it's just not compiling correctly? That could be. I'll restart my dev server. Yep. Hate those problems, don't you? You hate to see it. Huh. All right. Just needed a little reset, but we're back. And, ooh, I want to center it on the page. MX Auto. Let's see it. Oh, that doesn't work. Really? Oh, I didn't save. Yes. Very nice. So I also want to add a transition name to the whiteboard. Just for fun. I'll apply it straight to the container. Transition, name, whiteboard. Just cut and dry, it's a whiteboard. And I want to see what that does. Oddly, it doesn't transition. Why would that not transition? Oh, I got it wrong. Yeah. Ooh. Kind of fun. Kind of cool. Shah. Kind of cool. And, oh, it's not interactive anymore. Huh, why is that? If I go back to Ben, it's interactive. But if I'm on this page, it isn't. I think we have a web component wrapper. Yeah, the heading. The heading wrapper is something that we need, it looks like. Yep, because we applied the web component to this whole section. Wow, interesting. And we also applied, oh yeah, so that way we could do our draw button and everything else. That's tough. I think we can pass down some props. I think we can. And we can make the web component wrapper inside of the whiteboard. I think we can do that. I think we wanted to do that, and we just didn't. And we kept going back and forth just between files trying to reference this guy. So it would be nice to just remove the hoisting. Remove the hoisting. We don't need the hoisting. We're just going to put the script right on this page. And we have an inline SVG, which makes this enormous, but I think that's okay. We'll go over here. We'll leave the style where it is. I never know if my style or script should go above the rest, but we'll do it like this. We'll take in slots. So we have my dash whiteboard. And yeah, I think we just want to copy all the styles off of this. Oh, no. This is definitely important. Cache is hard. The cam gave up? Oh, no. Did the cam give up? Oh, no. My camera ran out of battery. You see, I plug it into the wall, but sometimes it drains faster than it can keep up. Even the Primeagen deals with this. I'm not... this sucks. All right, I turned off the camera. It feels a little hot, too. Wow. Have you ever smelled a dead battery? Because I smell a dead battery right now. Sheesh. I wonder if the battery burnt out. I hope not. Because now I don't even see a... That's not good. Did I burn out this camera? I'm looking for the light. No, the camera turns on. It's just, I don't see the light that tells me it's charging, which is a bit odd. Maybe it came unplugged. I don't know. Let me check down here. No, it's plugged in. It is not charging for whatever reason. Weird. But, yeah, why isn't it charging? It should be charging the battery, and it's just not. Did the battery burn out? It could have. It's an old battery. I may need to go buy one. Eesh. Yeah. I don't know, man. Now, luckily, I have a backup. I have a backup right here. We have a little phone stand, and I can just screw my phone into here and use the iPhone continuity mode, and we can just use this guy right here. To be honest, I've been debating just using my iPhone for all future streams because wrestling a Sony DSLR, I mean, I'll be honest, the lighting is even now. There was a time that the lighting constantly shifted. Oh, shoot. There was a time it would constantly shift on me while I was recording. If you go look at the Cloudflare video, there's a ton of light shifting around. It's a mess. But now that I put a ring light in front of me, you do see a reflection of the ring light in my glasses. But it keeps the lighting exactly where it needs to be, so the Sony doesn't wander anymore, which is quite nice. Sir, I don't know about that. I don't know about that message. Behave yourself. Behave yourself. It will charge when it decides to. Yeah, it does feel that way, doesn't it? Sheesh. Okay, so let's continue. I use this as a layout element when it really shouldn't be. It's just for functionality. So let me change this to be a div. Div. And hopefully that changed the closing tag. I have no idea. It didn't. I've been having problems with that every once in a while. Dov. All right, div. There we go. And then we have all of these right here. So stylistically, it should look the same. And we're going to apply the whiteboard class. Maybe the whiteboard, maybe we could split out the web component to its own little element. That would be another smart way to do this. But yeah, there's multiple ways to go about this. I think I'm just going to slot at the top because this is going to be enough. We'll apply a default slot here. We'll put all this garbage. Oh man, that is not the Vim motion for me right now. And yeah, all of this. For whatever reason, the Vim motions just give up after a certain amount of space. I don't know why that is, but whatever. I could have just moved the my whiteboard element down. Silly me. Okay, so we have the slot and we have the div right here. And this should do the functionality we want. Okay, so now everything is moved inside of whiteboard. Heading no longer needs the whiteboard element here, It actually needs the whiteboard element here. Yep. And then we'll put this here. Because now we have the chill drawn. Oh, that's actually going to break it. Let's move the whiteboard up one more element so the flex box carries. Like that. And we'll remove the script because we moved it to the other file. Seems nice to me. So now whiteboard is reusable. It takes in a slot, but for the most part, it's just doing its own thing. Capiche? Is this going to work? No, it isn't. It isn't going to work. It is not going to work. I know why it's not going to work. And I'm thinking of how I want to deal with this. If I go to Ben, yep, completely broken now. It's because this element is getting in the way of glory. It's getting in the way. We would need to pass down a class component, which I don't want to do. Or we could split everything out. And I think that's what we want to do. So we have the whiteboard, and we have probably the whiteboard element, whiteboard code, whiteboard functionality, whiteboard context. Context is such a meaningless word. We'll call it context, for lack of a better term. And this will contain just the script and the element. Just those two. Okay, so we'll do it like this. That's it. So this is the web component. It receives the content that it wants to receive. And whiteboard, we're just going to undo everything that we did to this component because we don't want it anymore. We head up here. We have context set up. And I think more or less we're going to undo the heading as well. And this is just going to be styled now. And we can totally apply classes to this because I think it just conceptually makes more sense now. So we'll say type props equals class, class string, yeah. And then we'll say class equals Astro.props. Then we'll say class equals close, like so. And that'll just pass down all the tailwind that we're trying to do. That works. And if we head to heading, we can replace this with, whiteboard context, like so. Perfect. So now we don't need this script. It's now hoisted. I knew it wouldn't do it. Okay, so we have whiteboard context, the whiteboard itself, and this script tag right here goes away. Seems right to me. So this is the whiteboard context. It provides everything that you need. It does need a wrapper element, though, so you're allowed to style it. Then we have the whiteboard down here and the elements there. Sounds good. Yep, and the styling is back where it's supposed to be. We head over here, and it works, but the view transition is now gone, which is interesting. I think I just undid it. That's it. Cool. I think we're done here. So if we go back to about, yep, it animates. The last thing we want to do is add whiteboard context around this. Whiteboard context. Yeah, conceptually, this makes a ton of sense, to me at least. Yeah, done. Cool. And it should be functional now. Oh, it's not. Oh, that's surprising. Why would it not be functional? Is there a reason it's not functional? I thought it would be. So if we go to console, cannot set properties of undefined, setting disabled. Oh, interesting. Yeah. Okay, so it's expecting buttons and other things that may or may not exist anymore. That's the problem with just lack of type safety here. We don't know what it's going to do. And we have the draw button here. It might be or undefined, I think is what we're getting at. So now we need a little check right here to say, if there's a draw button, do something. I think we need an if statement. Yeah, just a little if statement to make everything work. Nice. And it looks like we're missing some functionality for sure. It's a styling issue, it looks like. And we also have an issue with it staying tilted for no reason. Why is it staying tilted? That's interesting. I don't know why that would happen. What does that do? We have data drawing right here. We have the group. Ooh, okay, so we're relying on a Tailwind group existing when it may or may not. We don't know. So you might want Tailwind merge to make this work, or you might want something else. I'm thinking that we remove the class prop entirely, and we just style it ourselves. I think that might be a better idea. So we'll say group / whiteboard, just to make it super, super scoped. Or actually, let me just do group for now to make sure of everything, and then we can be a little bit more strict. Yeah, that'll do. And if we go to... Oh, shut up. Stop it. All right, we'll go to heading. This is whiteboard context. Now this div, where does this div start and end? It looks like it starts and ends here. That makes sense. So we'll actually put another div inside of this just for the Tailwind classes. A classic. Tailwind is div-driven development. Div-driven. Why are you doing that? Why have you done what you've done? Just do this, please. There we go. So now we have Tailwind context set up. Yep, perfect. And if we go to Ben, well, screw you, Tailwind. There we go. Things are still working how we expect. That's good. The styling looks good to me. And yeah, now we can still click on it and get all the styling that we expect. Perfect. All right. Whew, that took a little bit of effort, but we got there. We absolutely got there. And you see how it's interweaving with different divs and stuff? This would have been annoying if I hadn't split these out. But now that they're split out, it works a lot better. I think this is a good setup. So we have the context that has everything we need. We have the actual whiteboard itself, which relies on the context. We have the heading element, which applies the context and does some more things. Yeah, this is about as well structured as React code. It just, we don't have the types to guide us, which is a little annoying, but we got there. When did you get those excellent snippets? T something. Yeah, from the simple RSC. If you're wondering about snippets, yeah, so I have a process, and I've repeated it a few times. For that talk, and he's referring to either the talk that I gave or the YouTube video. They both did the same thing. Oh no, you're about to see my recommendations. Yep, no shame here. These are my recommendations. Corridor Crew is a vibe. There's like no diversity on the Corridor team, which is a little jarring, but they have some good videos. The Kendrick diss is crazy and Randy is back. There's your summary of stuff. Let me go to my YouTube channel though. If I go over here, also the views completely stopped on this video. For political reasons, I removed Vercel from the title, and by doing so, I have tanked my viewership. It's quite a shame. I hate politics, but yeah, at least people watched it. Anyways, RC from scratch. There were some snippets in this video. And you can see right there, I have a .vs code folder where I'm setting everything up. And to create a snippet, I just wrote them on the fly. I did some rehearsals, and I saw parts where typing it out would take too long. So I was like, okay, copy that part from the solution. Like, I'll just copy this canvas element right now, just to show you. And there's this extension that I have called Create Snippet. And you can enter the snippet name, which is like, I don't know, we'll call it canvas. And then the prefix, which is what you actually type in your editor. I usually just keep them the same thing. And I use T as the prefix, so when I was getting auto-import suggestions, it would only show the snippets when I was actually reaching for snippets. This is just a convention. You can name it whatever you want. I chose T because I don't know. And then when you do that, and you hit enter a bunch of times through all the other menus, you create a snippet. This will add to a VS Code folder, and it'll just spit out a snippet for you. And these are just located to your project. So if I wanted to put this in now, I can just type tcanvas, and it spits out whatever I just copied. That's all you have to do. So yeah, I recommend this one a lot. I'm trying to remember what it's called. Can I see the ones that are just installed? Let me see. Enabled. Let's just say enabled. Add enabled snippet. Yeah, custom snippet maker. There's a few options for snippets, and they're all pretty good. This is the one I happen to go with. There's almost no users, but it works. It works totally fine. I think I can even copy the name. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I just made them as I went, but I'm glad they're helpful snippets. Oh, wow, that was a lot on my clipboard, but there's the link if you want to go try it. Better than post-prod cuts. Do it fast in real time. Yeah, exactly, because this was originally a conference talk, and I'll admit I was nervous about the pacing and just getting things wrong on stage. So I actually had more snippets than I used in the talk, just in case I got something wrong or I needed to go quicker or timing was off or whatever. Most of it just comes down to practice, I'll be real, but having snippets really helps because it's a nice in-between. If you're copy pasting from another editor, it's really jarring because you have to like switch to another clipboard, grab the thing, come back, paste it into view. And when you add that friction, it's really obvious that you're just reaching for ready-made code. And people are like, oh, dishonest, not live coding. But when you use snippets, for whatever reason, it doesn't feel like you're being cheated. It feels like he's still live coding. He's just reaching for a few shortcuts, and I'm fine with that. So it just keeps the velocity going. When you have to copy paste, it slows something down. Yeah, custom snippets are great. I recommend them for sure. Yeah, so that's my process. It's a very simple process. I hope it helps in some way. And also, let's get back to this. But that was a worthy detour. I never actually shared how I did that, so cool. I'm glad it's helpful. Also, this text is a little bit wide now. I think gap 12, gap 16, something. I keep oh my god, I can't type. There we go. I can't save my code. There we go. So 80 was a mess. 90 might be, yeah, 90 is pretty good. And we're missing some margin on this. But I'm thinking the in brief component can just be inlined now. Oh, and we had sections as a concept. Yeah, that was from my old website, and I think we're done with the section concept. We just don't need it. But yeah, the nice thing about Tailwind, I don't think I have to do anything. Oh, no, I definitely do. Yeah, I had inline styles right here. There were a lot of very custom styles. Because this is like a checkbox that's styled with CSS only. It's pretty cool. This switch, oh god. I broke something. But yeah, that switch right there is 100% CSS. And I just copied the code from somewhere else. Okay, we'll call this about me. We'll use text 2XL. We'll use, I can't type, 2. We'll use font heading. And we'll make it an H1 because it is the H1 on the page. As for all this content, I think we're running into an issue with Flexbox. Let's just block it off with a div like that. I'll admit, I don't know where my divs end. Is that right? Okay. What have I done? Where does this div end? Did I get this wrong? I can't tell. I think I got that right. Yeah, I got that right. Cool. And now the div is taking up the full height, which makes sense, but I don't want it to do that. So I need to center the content within this div now. How did I end up with this? Maybe I just need justify items or something. Nope. Align. Neither of these work. You'll love to see it. Height, probably min content would. Is it just height? No. How do you do height min content? Just that? That doesn't work. Boo. That should be 3XL. I don't know what's going on with this, but it is not working. For whatever reason, it just wants to be tall. It just wants to be tall. Maybe I should let it. I mean, it shouldn't be, but it just wants to be tall for whatever reason. Okay, so the flex box is not working. That's the issue. I think it's item center, and I'm just an idiot. Yeah, that's our issue. Lol. Yep, let's just remove that. We don't need that. And that's good. Now we need some global styles for the paragraphs, though. I could probably make this an article just for a little bit of semantic meaning. And it doesn't change the closing tag. Why? Why can I not? And you see, it started changing it and then it gave up. It's so dumb. I don't understand why it does that. Okay, article, global P. And I think I have some styling on the blog that I can reuse here. Yeah, we have all these counter incrementers, yada yada. But I mostly want these styles right here. I think I just want those, actually. I think I just want this. Yeah, perfect. Gorgeous, even. Okay, nice. Now, there is some styling shift, and that's a tough one. Because you're going to need some absolute heights to prevent it. Nowadays, VS Code is built in snippets. Can create per project or per user. Yeah, but you need an extension to create it on the fly easily, don't you? Because I just want a shortcut to highlight some text and create a snippet from whatever I highlighted. That's why I installed an extension. Yes, I use these all the time. But is there a shortcut in VS Code natively to just take some text you highlighted, copy it, and it'll just create a snippet for you? It's a wizard. It's not a bit of functionality. Yes, that is much different. Because if I had to go to the file and format all of the new lines for the thing, it would be a mess. It was awful. So this extension just lets you highlight some text, barf out a snippet. It's pretty cool. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Okay. And this highlight is also not working for some reason. Why is that? We have the label, we have the letter spacing. Okay, var accent. That is the issue. I think it's now color primary. Yeah, it is. I think it's primary lighter or whatever, because we have some Tailwind colors for this at this point. Yeah, primary light. Yep, and we do have this set up right now. And we probably want a dark mode and light mode separation here, because otherwise we'll run into issues. Yeah, this is good text contrast for sure. And it would be cool to view transition between these two things, but I don't think it's necessary, I guess. The problem is the snap up and down, because it is layout shift. It is literally changing the height. Just browse my LinkedIn. Sheesh. Okay, let's figure this out. Your accent is the issue? I don't know. My accent? I mean, I have just the most basic American accent with a hint of Southern. But people think I'm from the Midwest because I try to enunciate words. Yeah. Oh, yeah, don't use Copilot for live talks. Yeah, I did use it, and it was fine. And it does a good job if you've been rehearsing something at just spitting out whatever you rehearsed. So that's good. But you're right that in general, it can be distracting. If you can get a talk without Copilot in the way, it'll probably be the best talk that you can give. How do I want to deal with this layout shift? I just don't know. I really don't know. I also think it's a little bit too wide. Let me change up the max width here to be 85. 85. Now it's I don't know. Now it looks like there's too many words. 88. That's good. And how am I going to deal with the layout shift? I think I need an absolute height based on something. I could use JavaScript to calculate it, but I don't want to do that. I could just say this text is never going to change, adjust the baseline to whatever it's supposed to be. Now, word wrap can, of course, break it, so we got to be careful with that. Or I could just get rid of the item center and add a margin. That's the most sane idea. So we'll say margin top of like 12. Oh, wow, it needs a lot of margin. A surprising amount of margin. Let's do 18. Nope, that's not a number in Tailwind. 16, not enough. 20. 28. I'm just going to jump. That looks pretty good. That seems great. Okay, that'll do. Now if we click on this, we have a nice setup. Now the question is, when you start squishing it down, okay, well, because of the text resizing, it's pretty good. But when it hits a certain point, we probably want to, like here it's good, 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 now it's bad. So I don't know what that size is, but we'll at least guesstimate. We have margin top 28, and we'll say medium or large. I don't really know. And I don't know much about breakpoints in Tailwind. I haven't used Tailwind a lot. I'm learning it. Okay, so if the width is greater than that, then we want large 28. Got it. So it's mobile first in the ordering. I can work with that. So we want the mobile, well, let's just keep truncating downward. So we'll say it's 28 for a little bit. Where's my browser? My browser just killed itself. Nope. What is going on with my browser? What is going on with my browser? I can't focus the page. And my camera's gone. How long has that happened? Okay, it looks like my camera's charging at the very least. So let's just give it a few minutes, and then we'll get back to it, okay? Okay. We'll keep going. Don't look at the box. I don't want to set up my iPhone just yet. We're going to wait on that. You can at least hear me, so we got something. But yeah, for whatever reason, Arc just doesn't focus anymore. I can't even visit my browser. Wow. Yeah, Arc is completely broken. I need to quit the app. What happened to Arc? My camera and Arc broke at the same time. Oh, I know, rip cam. Yeah, you don't have to say that. No shocking reveal. We know. All right, I gotta go to my activity monitor and kill whatever the heck is going on here, because I can't focus my browser app anymore. What a mess. OBS is using 83% of CPU. Wow, interesting. It's an M1. I'm a little surprised, but what are you going to do? Yep, Arc is still running, and I can't quit the app. Okay. Quit. Force quit. There we go. And now we'll reopen. What happened? I really don't understand. It was window focus. It wasn't even the browser itself. So strange. And now it's taking forever to reopen. 1 minute while I make sure it doesn't completely mess up. Now you can see a really big black square. Look at that. Okay, so we're back. So what does large even mean in Tailwind? It looks like it's at least that much. Yeah, that's a little aggressive. I think we want to use medium. Nope, that's... Dang it, we need an in-between. Because at this point, I just want it to word wrap. Dang it, we need somewhere between large and medium. A classic problem. You never have the breakpoint you need. You never do. We could tweak the breakpoints, but wow, changing the breakpoints this early when we've only used one is probably not the move. All right, let's just do it like this. Let's just say good enough. And then for really small, so this is medium, and then below that, we'll just say margin top like 6, because we'll wrap everything. Yeah, let's see. So we have flex, we have max width, these are fine. And we'll say this is medium and above. We're going to do a flex layout. The gap 16 doesn't even matter. Yep. Now we do need to wrap it above. I don't even know if the whiteboard needs to be there on mobile. I just like having a visual. Medium large equals venti. I mean, kind of. Kind of. Yeah, that breakpoint seems fine. It's just that this is a little bit, it's a little bit off. Now, I think we can scale the whiteboard a little bit. Just get clever about it. I think we can pass styles down to the whiteboard and merge them a little bit. I can also just do this and see if this is what we want. So we want max width of like half the screen or 40 view widths. Yeah. Yeah, so that's setting the max width of the container, but it seems the whiteboard is pixel perfect. And we are going to need to change that if we want to do interesting things like CSS scaling. Yeesh. All right, I'm turning the camera back on. We gave it a moment. I think this will give us some juice for now. Oh wait, did I? No, there we go. Yeah, okay. Maybe shrink the whiteboard to the top left like the logo. Yeah, it wouldn't be interactive anymore, but does it matter? Not really. I would love for the whiteboard to get really big whenever you click on it or something like that. Yeah, moving it up to the nav bar does make sense, but we would need a view transition to move it there because that's totally out of the flow of the document. Kind of a mess. And again, with between the large and the medium, these are not the breakpoints that I want. I need a custom breakpoint that's somewhere else. It's kind of a mess. Hey, what to do? I don't know. Well, I'm a bit hydrated, so I'm gonna take a short break here, and we'll think on it. I also need to do a load of laundry if we're gonna keep streaming. I don't know how long I want this stream to go, but I'm happy, so I guess we'll just continue. And we know the amount of time we took with view persistence. Yeah. Let's keep the scope creep low here. I'm hoping that we can do it exponentially faster now that we understand view transitions, but I don't think we need a view transition for this. I think we're okay just moving it somewhere else in the DOM. I don't know where it would go in the DOM, but just somewhere. It could be a fixed position. We could put it in a fixed position at the top of the screen, and as long as we think about overlap, I think we'll be okay. Could you give a quick rundown of the difference between Astro build and something like React? Okay. So Astro supports React to break your mental model a little bit, but Astro is a framework for building content sites, so blogs, documentation, e-commerce, home pages, and portfolios, all those sorts of things. It's great at. And Astro starts with a templating language, so you're writing server templates or templates that just render when you build the site for the first time. They're not client-side JavaScript. You're just scripting it out. You're writing out how your HTML wants to look, and then you can ship it. That's what Astro lets you do. But Astro also lets you embed components if you want to. So if you want to make a little static page with a bunch of HTML, and then you want to embed a little React component for your navbar or something, you can install the React integration with just Astro add React, and then you can plop a React component inside of there. If you've heard of Next.js React server components, it's a similar kind of model where you start with a bunch of server stuff, and then you can embed little bits of React if you want. Yeah, it is a combo of React and standard HTML if you want to use React. You can also never use React and just use HTML. That's totally chill. We give you JSX, so if you want to template out your HTML like React, it works exactly the same way, where you can take some data, you can dot map over that data and render some list elements. You can do all of the stuff you're used to. Your muscle memory carries. But if you want client stuff that runs in your browser, you can embed React if you'd like to. You can also embed other frameworks like Vue or Preact or Solid. If you don't know those names, you don't have to learn them, but you can use whatever client-side stuff you want. On this website we're building, I'm actually using script tags because, again, it's mostly HTML. So you have access to scoped styles, which is something React doesn't give you access to. And you also have script tags. So if you wanted to write a script tag that just embeds some stuff, I'm using web components, but you can use whatever. You can write a plain old script tag, and you can import TypeScript. You can do all the modern stuff you want to do, but you're still just using scripts. Are there any drawbacks you would say? I mean, when you get into really dynamic layouts, I don't know if you've used Next.js or other things, but in those frameworks, you can have like nested layouts where you have your shell with your table of contents or whatever you're trying to do. Then you have a shell within it for other bits and a shell within it for other bits. And you can get really clever with the parts that are reloading on the page. In Astro, every page is a new document. So you don't have layout onions necessarily. You're just working with new documents of HTML on every page, which is great for content because you have nothing to think about. But it can be an issue when you start scaling up. That said, we have this thing called view transitions to animate between the pages. Do you see here? I'm going from one HTML document to another, but the browser has this nice built-in to tell the page what elements are shared. So I told it, hey, this new page I'm going to, all new content. But the whiteboard, this guy right here, this is the same whiteboard. When we go from about to Ben, this is the same whiteboard. So I want you to animate from one whiteboard position to the other. And I did not use Framer Motion. I did not use JavaScript. This is the only line that I did. Look at this. If I go to whiteboard right now, yeah, let me jump in there. Transition name, whiteboard. This is telling the browser, when this shows up, this is the same whiteboard. Whenever I reuse this component, it's the same whiteboard. I delete that, we go back to our browser, it just fades between the two states. But as soon as I tell it, this is the same whiteboard, all of a sudden, it'll animate wherever it is on the page to wherever it is on the next page. No tweening, no animations yourself, it just works. So great. You don't have to think about it at all. So Astro does have really smart ways to share stuff between pages. But if you rely on React-specific APIs for those transitions, then you'll be annoyed, you'll be mad when you're trying to migrate and you're like, this React library doesn't work. Yeah, it doesn't, and it probably can't. So you'll run into that. But I think, yeah, the mental model is pretty nice when you're thinking about how all these things shift between pages. This is better than Framer Motion ever was for me. I hated Framer Motion, I'll be honest. It's a heavy library. You have to manually say the XY coordinates. You can't use CSS. You got to use their version. It was not fun. It was very not fun. Astro lets you have fun with what works in the browser, and I love that. So give it a try. Give it a try. And you can migrate most of your React components into it, I think. It just depends on what you're doing. Anyways, I'm going to hop off for a second, and we'll get back to animating that whiteboard somewhere on the page. I don't freaking know. It'll look good, whatever we end up with. Framer Motion's layout is pretty good with layout ID thingy. I have no idea what that is, but perhaps it is good. Nothing beats just using browser APIs, though. You don't have to ship any JavaScript to get the same effect. I have a feeling that performance-wise, this is unbeatable. Because this is just using Chrome. Chrome is doing this animation with screenshots. We're not relying on JavaScript trying to find the elements and diff them. It's got to be faster. There's no way. There's no way this is beatable. It's nice that it's possible, though, if you're using Framer Motions. That's cool. Use a transform doing something. Yeah, the flip technique. Yep. You take the old one, take the new one, and you move between them. But again, like, come on. Nothing beats just 2 snapshots, low level in the browser. No JavaScript necessary. Nothing's going to beat that. Nothing's going to beat it. Unbeatable. Anyways, let's figure out the mobile layout. I think we're going to figure out a mobile layout right now. And I'm also going to delete that in brief at the bottom of the page. In brief. Right here. Yes. Remove. We don't need any of that. And we were using Tailwind Pros, it looks like. Tailwind Pros is broken. We don't need it. In brief.astro. I'm also going to change the directory structure a little bit because I don't like that heading folder, blah, blah, blah. But I don't know. We're probably good for now. Yep. And now the page is just that. If you go to About, you can learn more about me. I think that's pretty cool. I might change this heading. This is kind of sort of me. And I do agree. My core values would be caring, be clear, be casual. Tech is scary, especially without a sense of humor to keep your head on straight. I agree with all these things. But I do want to say more about my videos, my style, my whiteboarding. I want to link to it. Unbeatable, thriving, gorgeous. What is that phrase? Hydrated, moisturized, in my lane. That's what it is. Unbothered. That's what it is. I'm imagining Mark Rebier in my ear. I'm unbothered, moisturized, in my lane. So good. So good. It's such a good meme format. Okay. Feat new about page. That was pretty quick to just move some components around. We had to figure out state management, but I don't think it was much harder to refactor than a React component. Even though I'm using web components and loosey-goosey classes, it refactored really well. We just had a typecast problem, but it was good. It worked totally fine. Yep, so let's figure out what we want to do with the mobile view. I'm thinking that the mobile view will take this whiteboard and, like you said, it was a good idea. We'll shrink it down to just the top left corner. And I think what we'll do is, because when you make something small, you don't want it to be too busy. Because then you're like, what is that? I can't see it. So we're going to probably make the smile a lot bigger, like a lot thicker stroke. So that way you can tell it's still a whiteboard and he's still smiling. And we'll also make the eraser go away. Maybe the markers will disappear, just so you're not squinting. Like, what am I looking at there? Is that a whiteboard? I can't tell. You know, something like that. What I imagine, though, is we'll have a whiteboard that grows and shrinks. So when you click on the whiteboard, it will grow the whiteboard into view, and you can edit it. Bro has connections. Let's go. Do you have any connections to Astro? I am an employee at Astro. I am a full-time employee. I know. You're like, wow, I heard it from an employee. What a shill. I mean, I joined the company because I love what they're doing. That's why I joined. So it's honest. It comes from a very honest place. If I was not at Astro, I would be using Astro for everything. But yes, I do work there. I'm a full-time maintainer. And we are a company. We have a product. We have a database hosting service right now. And it's awesome. So, yeah, I'm trying to move the web forward here. And I'm using Astro in public to make it happen. That's just me. Also, I realized this text does not scale well. It doesn't look good on this mobile view. The gap probably needs adjustment. This button is weird. The font is getting too small. We'll figure it out. But yeah, I think we might need a mobile nav bar as well. I can't decide because part of me loves just having all the links visible. I hate those slide down menus that take up the whole screen. And I have that on my website right now. It took me forever to build this. But a slide down that takes up the whole screen just takes you out of the flow. And it's annoying to build as well with all the fixed positioning and stuff. I love that the links are just there and we don't have to hide them on mobile. I want to somehow keep the links visible, even on the mobile view. I just don't want them to be too small. We can help it. Have you, I have yet to build something with Astro. Well, today is the day. Maybe. It's worth it. It's easy to get onboarded. I'll show you right here. We have a setup guide and we have a tutorial. These will teach you content collections and this cool stuff for doing view transitions. It'll teach you how to do it. It also quizzes you along the way. You can just check, you can skip over all those if you want. But if you're trying to get started with something, even if you have no project ideas, you have no idea what you want to build. I read most of the docs already. Dude, oh my God. How do you read most of the docs without building? I don't get it. This will actually get your hands dirty if that's what you're looking to do. And other people watching also go check that out. But yeah, I don't know. That's crazy. Respect. I want to build an SVG icon picker. Do it. Absolutely. SVG icon picker. Yeah, I've been using icons right now. This is my favorite icon picker because it's got every picker under the sun. Like you can even star your favorite ones. You can search for stuff and you can copy it with anything that you want. Not to steal your thunder, but I'm saying, you know, if you can build something better than this, I'd be impressed. I'm curious what you end up with. Oh, you can even have AirPods. There's an AirPods icon. I never bothered to read the docs beforehand. Yeah, I don't know. There's a balance. I am definitely in camp, doesn't read docs enough. I don't read the manual. I complain that something doesn't work and then realize if I just read one more paragraph, I would have known. But I stopped reading too soon and I started building. I do it all the time. What's the app called? It is a website. It's called icons.js.org. I've been using it forever. It is great because it has every icon pack you could want and you don't have to install anything. You can window shop. That's what I always end up doing. I window shop for the icon that I want and I paste it into my app. Another reason to use Astro Icon makes it super easy. You see I have this icons folder. This came from just window shopping on icons and pasting the SVGs that I like. And this icons folder is something you can import and dedupe in a really nice way. So it's full end-to-end. It's really nice. But yeah, window shopping icons is better than installing every icon from NPM because it slows down your editor tools because it needs to know about all the icons. And I don't know. I don't just like Hail Marying the name of an icon saying, arrow circle stroke, arrow circle stroke. Let's see what that looks like. No, I need to window shop. I need to see the icons and paste only the ones my project uses. It's just better. You can have a favorite icon pack, obviously, but it's better to just copy the code you want, I think. Yeah, this handwriting looks great, by the way. I can't believe I was using the other font before. What are we doing? So if we go to About, oh wait, About doesn't work. Ah, that makes a lot of sense. That was production. So let's go over here and let me push that up. So now production will have an About page. Let's do, and I don't know if I need this heading. This heading feels a little verbose. Actually, no, I think I need it. I think it's just too small, to be honest. But let's focus on the whiteboard. What we want to happen is we want on the small screens for this whiteboard to just lift itself to the top of the page. And to be honest, I don't think this even needs to happen here. I think it can happen in here. And yeah, drawing, rotate 0, transition, all of that is correct. But what I want to do, rotate 3, all of that, that's all good. But we're going to say on mobile screens only. Oh, and this is annoying. It's a mobile-only view, so I don't think you can do anything with tail. All right, so tailwind breakpoints. What if I want to style something mobile downwards? It seems like they go up, mobile first style. Yeah, it's min width. How do you do max width? Is there a way to go backwards? Because sometimes you need it. Max with breakpoints, yeah. If you want to work with max with breakpoints, you could do a custom little setup here. You could. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. So that's a way to switch the defaults to do something else. But I don't love that. Yeah, I don't know. They didn't want to allow both, and I understand why. But it is a little bit frustrating here. Need to decide what to do. I think I'm just gonna go for it. So we'll say fixed. And this is gonna be, oh yeah, we can just do it like this, huh? So we could say medium size is relative, otherwise it's fixed. And we'll say top 8, bottom, sorry, left 8. And I'm totally winging this. I don't even know. I don't even know what I want. Let's just do this for now. See what that does. Yep, okay, so that makes it fixed. That works great. And we're gonna want it to be way smaller. I think we can just use scale for this. Instead of having to, like, size everything correctly. Can you just scale? Oh, scale 3D, that's interesting. Oh, so they have scaling down to 50, but nothing lower than that. Can I do custom? I think so. We'll say O.2. And we'll say mead scale. Oh, it's 100, yeah. Okay. Yep, that's about the right size. Now we're gonna need, again, because it doesn't look right. It looks like it's way too detailed to be that small. We're gonna need to do something smart here with the scaling and everything. We'll also need to remove the hover, because the hover is really obnoxious. We have rotate 3, transform duration. Okay, I think the animation's applied down here, yeah. It happens. So we have the float animation right there. We have animation play state. Yeah, it's running and paused. Cool. And can you access breakpoints with variables? I know you can't. Why am I even asking? I know it doesn't work. So we'll say we'll just do it ourselves. At media, min width, and we'll try to match it up. It's always a risk, but we'll try to match it up. 768 pixels. Yeah. So that's our medium layout. We head over here. Now it just stays static. Oh, wow. Look at... Whoa! Woo! 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 That's cool. I didn't have to do anything. That's nice. Okay, so that's mostly what I want. And as for all of the styles, I think what we need to do is change up some of the SVG strokes and other bits. It's going to be tough to do. I know, using vars and at rules. If only. You can use Sass variables, but not CSS variables. There's a whole working group proposal about how that could happen. We're just not there yet. It's kind of a shame. What do I want to do? I want the stroke to be thicker, but the problem is I designed this using nested rectangles instead of a stroke. My mistake. So it's all absolute positions. You're gonna fight fire with fire. This is gonna be tough. Yep, this is really tough. This is not something you can change easily. But you can change this, which is good. You can't change the stroke width with CSS, though. I don't think. Because we want the stroke width to change when we're small, right? The best we could do is probably show and hide the correct element. Let's just do that for now. That'll work fine. So we'll say, for this one, it's like class equals... which one is going to be first? We'll say that this one is hidden, mead. Why do I keep saying mead? That's, no. Medium. Mead has a meaning, and we don't want it. Initial. You can't do that. What even is the default for something like this? I have no idea. Let's see here. Inherit. Initial. Unset. Unbothered. Block. Maybe block will be fine. I have no idea. I don't even think you can apply CSS the way that I'm doing it. So then we'll reverse it. Block. Hidden. And how does this work? Okay, so this is the mobile view. We'll change the stroke to be 50. Yep. Okay, so that makes a big smile. Quite cool. And it's too big. of course. It's a caricature at this point, but we're getting somewhere. Yep. So now it's just a little bit bigger. Looks like he has lipstick. He's kind of a clown, but that's all right. Can you style stroke width with CSS? I'm starting to wonder you can. Starting to wonder if you can. So if we said, for this one, stroke width, there's no way. Yeah, CSS. Tailwind doesn't do that. And let's just keep going with what we've got. Let's just keep going with what we got. This is fine. So we'll say block, medium size, hidden. Oh, but this is going to break. We only want it when it's data drawing as well. Because once it's drawing, I want it to scale upward. And that's what I want to do. So we'll say this is hidden. For medium sizes, use that. Or to be honest, should it just be data drawing? I have no idea. Okay, what am I doing? Why are my Vim motions reversed? Oh, hand wasn't on the home row. Sheesh. Okay, so we have that. We also want data. Sorry, group data drawing. No. We want this to be block whenever it's drawing. And what else? Well, it's contained within the other one. That's the interesting part. So on medium breakpoints, it's always hidden. And on group data drawing, it's hidden as well. Now, here's a clever idea. Because it's contained within the other one. Yeah, it can literally just be layered on top. We don't even care. We literally don't care. Yeah, we don't care at all. So there we go. And we'll say, yeah, create a duplicate, and this is the style that we want to do. It shows, and then for medium and other breakpoints, it's hidden. And we also don't need block, because that's just whatever it is. Okay, this just got a little bit simpler. Now, it does get a little confusing here with the duplicate data targets. Those might break. I have no idea. But I think it's working. Oh, yeah, because I used a list, I think it just kind of works. Yeah. Happy accident. Happy accident. So what else do we want to do? We're just going to copy this and hope for the best. It's duplicate code, but it will work, I think. Yeah, so now it's very large, and you can see, ooh, okay. So some of the scaling issues are definitely here. Now we want it to scale up, so I think we'll be okay. Also, oh, interesting. So because why are the eyes not working as expected? Why would that happen? So on medium breakpoints are hidden, and data drawing it's hidden. Is it drawing right now? I don't think it is. Oh, we just didn't set the stroke width yet. And it's not a width, unfortunately. It's a hard-coded width property. That'll work. Oh no! Oh no, that's not good at all. Yeah, because the RX, interesting. Okay, so let's use 30, and we'll make the RX value 15. That'll look good. Yeah, so we're just making the stroke a lot thicker when it's smaller. So that way it doesn't look jarring. Okay, so the eyes do kind of flash at you like, oh, jump scare. But that's okay. It's not going to be perfect. You can see his eyes get a little bit wide when it goes down, but that's fine. Okay, I like this. I like this a lot. I wish the border was there. I also don't know about the eraser being shown. It feels a little bit odd. I wonder if the eraser should be hidden at that breakpoint. That might be okay. Oh, the eraser is also defined separately. So we can just style it like this. That's nice. So we have data drawing checked. Man, there's so many styles there. So we have block, and then we'll say medium hidden. Or actually, no. Medium block, hidden otherwise. That's what we want to do. Okay, yeah, perfect. So then when it grows, it comes back. Oh, maybe we can get a little bit more clever with it. So we'll say, I don't even know why block is necessary. Can I just remove block and see what it does? Okay, we need block for reasons unknown. But we will leave it. And we'll say medium, scale 100, and then we'll say scale 0. So that way it just kind of zooms into view. That's nice. I like that a lot. And yeah, he's just a little guy. He's looking around. He has a bigger mouth now. It is a little funny how big the mouth is compared to the eyes. We might want to change that. Yeah, we set it to 40, which is definitely bigger than 30. We could probably make it like 35 or something. Because for whatever reason, we have them slightly different. Okay, so that's round. Yeah, we'll make this 35. It's weirding me out that the mouth is just a little bit... Oh, interesting. Yeah, that's right. That's definitely what we want it to be. It's not clear that it's a whiteboard, but I don't really mind it too much. Maybe it needs to have a marker next to it, just to make it really obvious. I was digging into icons, and I found that astroicon.dev uses the same base. Possibly. Yeah, I think a lot of them are using the same... Yeah. If your Astro... Oh, interesting. Be mindful that every icon that could potentially be referenced will be included in your server's JavaScript bundle. Yeah, that makes sense. That's a cool little warning there on the docs, but I understand the risks. Okay, so we've got everything working. Now we need it positioned on the right part of the page, and we need that transition from nothing to data drawing to be smooth. And that's going to be a tough one. I don't know how I'm going to do it yet. But all you can really do is try things. I also need it to be fixed onto the screen. I think you need a top property in order for it to work. So let's say top 4, left 4. See what that gives us. Why is it relative to wherever it was? That doesn't make a lot of sense. Why would it be here? We scaled down the container. Aha. It looks like we have this to blame. Oh, wait, no. No, we don't. Why would this not work? Oh, is it because we scaled it? It's because we scaled it, but the transform origin is not where you would expect. Ooh, that's tough. So could we say transform origin? Tailwind transform origin. How do you do that? Origin is just the word origin. It's not super consistent. Every once in a while, it catches me off guard. Yeah, I would want the origin to be top left. Does that work? Oh, screw you. Ooh! Ooh! That was good. That was good. That looked great. Okay. Oh, nope, that doesn't work. You can need top 0 at the very least. Yes, and now we have a z-indexing problem, but that's expected. We want this thing to... I think this creates a new stacking context, question mark. So z30 and hope for the best? Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. I don't know. Yep, okay. So it's there. And if we increase the size... Wow, that's really elegant, actually. That's surprisingly elegant. That's really cool. Very cool. That's really cool. Oh, wow. I didn't think it would look that good. I'll be honest. I didn't think it would. That's great. So the positioning's off, obviously. We need to figure out how to incorporate it into the nav bar better. I was thinking a marker would give it some, like, context. Like, oh, I know that this is a whiteboard now. Oh, okay. So the eraser also works, but we need it. Yeah, let's figure out the scaling animation as well. So we want data drawing to also scale it up. That's what we want it to do. And we want it to be fixed position for sure. Do we have MD relative on this guy? Yeah, we do. Okay, that's good. It should have that. I was just making sure. So we have that, and we also want group data drawing to also scale it to 100. I think that's all we need. Let's find out. Okay, so the eraser needs to show itself. That's the last bit. So we have medium scale. Yeah, I think this is all we need. Data drawing. Oh my god, I can't believe how easy this is. I'm so excited. Scale 100. Oh, no, it doesn't work. Ah, why not? Oh, I wrote it wrong. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay, something's going on there. Something's up. It is not following the cursor. And I found it to be a little bit weird for it to track the cursor, so I landed on just random motion because it just felt kind of nice to do it that way. I don't know. And also, once you enter drawing mode, you are trapped. You are done, which is kind of odd. Okay, so it looks like we have an issue with GSAP trying to figure out where the marker or where the eraser belongs in the animation. That's kind of a bummer. I'm wondering if it's a more holistic issue or if it's just a problem when it scales up. This should be fixable. I just don't know what the problem is yet. Okay, so we pause those animations. We get the location on the screen. That's going to be a tough one. I think the issue is we want it to be delayed until everything has scaled up properly. Because you can see here, it's getting the location of the eraser and the scribble, but that is before it scales up. Kind of an issue. What do? I don't know. Just to test the theory, maybe we can add a promise here, and we'll make it async. We'll just add a promise, and we'll just see if this works. So if we added a promise and just arbitrarily said, set timeout, come on, Copilot, you know this. I've written this so many times for demos. We're just gonna delay it and say resolve null. I literally don't care. And that'll just tell us what this does. Yep. Okay. We debugged it correctly. But we're going to need to figure out what the timeout is. I want it to be instant for certain screen sizes. We're going to use JavaScript to figure out the screen size. Gross. That's not what I want. What do we do about that? Is there a way to get out of this? I don't know. Now, I'm pretty sure the screen sizes in Tailwind are Tailwind classes. I could be wrong. Let me look at the Tailwind v4 blog post again, because there's a thing in here. Default theme. There we go. Yeah, breakpoint. Ooh, look at that. So the breakpoints are right here. So we can at least get the calculated property. Equals... Oh, wow. Window match media. Yeah, look at that. I forgot what this does. What does this give you? I haven't used match media in a while. How do you use match media? Thank you, Copilot, because you're right. That's probably the best thing to use. So if we do match media, how does this work? Yeah. Huh. It returns the media query to perform both instantaneous and event-driven. Yeah, instantaneous. Cam says no longer streaming. It's tired, okay? And that's fair. I do need to get off in a moment, so we're just going to power it off and then power it back on so we can at least say goodbye. Yeah. I think I left my camera on overnight and that just drained the battery before we even started streaming. It happens. So let's just console log medium breakpoint. This is cool. I forgot about match media, but this is something Astro uses for query selectors. I totally forgot about it. Yeah. Oh, look at this. Match is false. And then if I were to make it small, match is true. Oh my God. It's so stupidly simple. Wow. I am floored. So we could also await the transform that's currently happening, but I'm happy just winging it. I'm happy just winging it with a hard-coded timeout. This is my website and I'll do what I want. I just want it to work. This will work fine. We don't need a reusable function for it. The most sustainable one would be a little less hard coding. We could at least get the calculated value from Tailwind if we wanted to. Oh, that was a little weird. Oh, the transform origin is a little off now. Yeah, that makes sense. Wing it to win it. Yep. Yeah, I don't love how it's a little bit... The transform origin is rotating from a different place. But that's going to be obnoxious to fix. So I'm just not going to fix it. How about that? Yeah. Great. Oh my God, that's great. And then it's instantaneous here. Great. Great. I got nothing else to report. This is perfect. So there's a few other things to do. One of them is figuring out scaling on mobile because, on mobile views, the whiteboard is still too big. We also need to figure out how to exit whiteboard mode when you're in whiteboard mode because you're trapped. You're trapped. We want it to be a dialogue. We want it to be a modal. Oh boy. Because this works functionally, but it's not accessible. It's not accessible at all. I know that there's a dialogue element in the browser. Dialogue element, MDN. Teach me. Teach me what you know. We could also, DIY the dialogue element. And is dialogue what we want? I can't remember. Let me see. Baseline 2022, it's in all browsers. Wow, great. Represents a modal or non-modal dialog box or other interactive component, dismissible alert, etc. The HTML dialog element is used to create both modal and non-modals. Displays that. You can use show modal method to display a modal dialog and show to display a non-modal dialog. The dialog box can be closed using the close method or using the dialog method by submitting a form. Oh, you can use forms for it. Wow, that's intense. Okay, so we have dialog open. This demonstrates creating a non-modal dialog by using only HTML. Because of the box open attribute in the dialog appears open when the page loads. Yeah, makes sense. And it can be closed by clicking the OK button. In this case, no JavaScript is needed to close the form. The dialog is initially open because of the presence of an open attribute. All right. Okay. Creating a modal dialog. I think we can make it a modal that's just always open depending. Yeah, I haven't used it either, but I heard about it on Twitter, so we're gonna learn today. So we also have this. You can style the backdrop of the dialog. That's quite cool. Is opened modally. That's fun. Modally is a new adjective. Or it's an adverb, actually. We're gonna open it modally. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So we have the show button, close button. We're accessing all of those. And on click, show the modal. And then closing the button will close the dialog. All right, so if you click that and you hit close, it'll close the dialog. Now, that's not going to animate at all. Indubitably. Yeah, exactly. Charmed, I'm sure. Now, if we use a dialog, we can't animate the close because close just sticks it out of the DOM. It literally removes it. So that's kind of a problem, isn't it? We could put it on a delay so that way it doesn't remove from the DOM until it, properly animates out. We could do that. It gets very fiddly, though. Handling the return value. This example demonstrates the return value of the dialog element and how to close a modal dialog by using a form. By default, the return value is the empty string on the value of the button. Now, one thing we can do is view transition it. We can start a transition from where it is in the DOM to the dialog element and just have it do its thing. I don't know how well that'll work, but conceptually, I think a view transition is what we want to scale it up and scale it back down. I think that's what we want. And I think it'll just morph because we're not doing anything fancy. I don't know. Maybe it'll work. The cancel button to include a form method dialog. Okay, let's play with dialogue. Let's have a little bit of fun with dialogue. Let's have a dialogue with dialogue. So I think we're going to need a bunch of duplicate markup for sure. Because we have the whole whiteboard, which is what's on the screen at first. And then we have the draw mode whiteboard, which has the markers and other things. We'll open the dialogue modally. Sips tea. Exactly. Let me think. So if we do the whole fixed position, I mean, one route for sure is to, just add some accessible attributes to this. Instead of using the dialogue, implement what a dialogue normally does. Because normally you're not tweening between the old and new. Normally a dialogue is just an entirely new form and you don't need to animate anything. So the fun way is a view transition, but that has a lot of duplicate stuff. And the boring way is add accessibility to the fixed position and all that stuff that we're doing. The tough part is, of course, tab indexing. I don't know. I don't know what to think. Yeah, I know it didn't turn on. I didn't turn it on. I haven't turned it on yet. I'm just letting it charge up a little bit, and then we'll code for a few more minutes and then maybe hop off, since I do need to get to a few things. So, I don't know. I don't know what I want to do here. Because I know that both routes are hell for different reasons. Implementing accessible markup is hell. View transitioning between two elements, also not fun. It's not hell, but it's not fun either. I wonder if we can just duplicate this whole bit of markup here and do a dialogue element and just see what happens. And then we'll figure out how to make it proper at some point. I don't know. So we're going to take the whole canvas right here and the whole element. We're going to take out everything. In fact, I think we can just render the same element twice. Can we? I have no idea. Because we can break out the markup. Let's do it later. Let's just copy paste everything for now. So that way we get something on the screen that resembles what we want. Yeah, so this is the whole whiteboard container. We have the canvas, we have the div, SVG. We have all of that. And then we have the dialogue right here. So this is going to be a dialogue element. And we'll make it open by default just to see what the heck it even is. We'll close the dialogue and we'll add everything a second time. I don't know what this is going to do. It's probably going to be a mess. Okay, so now we have two things on screen. They're both animated. This one is not animated because it's only query selecting the first one. But it doesn't matter, I don't think. Actually, it does matter, doesn't it? Because now we have a bit of fighting between different parts. I think we're going to need different context, different everything. We can't contain it within here. We're going to need to move a level up just to figure this out. Okay. Yes. So let's remove all of that. We don't want that. We'll go to About, and we'll just figure out what we want to do here. We have whiteboard context whiteboard. And then we have a second context, because we're just going to duplicate everything. And we're going to create a dialog of class open. And then we're going to have the whiteboard here. Okay, so now we have two elements. We have this, and these should be two instances of the same web component. So if you click on that, it's drawable. You click on that, it's drawable. Just total carbon copy. And we want this one. I don't even know what we want yet. It has a white background, which is very surprising. I guess a dialog has default styles. BG transparent, please. Yeah, interesting. Okay, well, lesson learned. Oh, look at that, and they're random. That's funny. They're just two totally separate instances of the same thing. And we're going to animate from one to the other somehow. So when you click on open, it's not going to enter drawing mode necessarily. It's going to open this whiteboard. And I am curious, when something is in a dialogue like this, is this actually going to run? Right? Like if I do this, is it in the DOM? Is it even in the document yet? Reason I ask, I want to set it to data drawing true when it's open. Okay, now my editor is failing. Now I can't format text. Oh boy. Our editor tooling is really chugging right now. Okay. We want to pass down whether it's open. And I think we can just make that as props. Type props. Open. Boolean. Const open is equal to astro.props. And we'll say data open is equal to open. Cool. So that's passed down. That's surprising. What did we... Oh. Oops. And then we'll go back to our other page. And we'll say, oh, that should be optional. And we'll say, inside of this context, I want you to be open. Oh, wait, not open. Drawing. Drawing. That's the name of the prop. I'm an idiot. Oh, that's open. That's drawing. Jump over here, and we'll change drawing like that. Okay. And we should have a state variable to match. We do. That'll do. That is breaking everything in the layout. Why on earth would it break everything in the layout? So just by saying data drawing, we broke the whole thing. Why is that? So we said that. I'm just trying to figure this out. So is it an issue with the dialogue element? Let's find out. Okay, so we set drawing right away, and for whatever reason, that did not work. I think we need a lifecycle method that says if it's drawing on connected callback, just start drawing. That would make sense. Do we have a connected callback? Yeah, we do. If this dot drawing, this dot start drawing and return, because we don't need to animate the face. There we go. Okay, so that's not working. Huh. Is this actually doing what we expect? It is drawing, but it's not animating. Maybe the return is breaking us. Okay, so now I need to look at the code here. What am I doing? If breakpoint matches, do that. We have a timeline. We have everything that we should need. But it's not erasing anything. Why would that happen? It looks like some things are working and some things absolutely aren't. So that's weird. Do we await it? I don't think so. Oh god, yeah. Nope, that doesn't matter. Huh. Okay, I don't understand my own code. At least not yet. Because, as far as I know, this was all working how we expected it to. And now it's just not erasering. Oh, come on. Jesus. What a mess. Okay, so it doesn't get to erasing. Oh, if this drawing return. That's funny. That's very funny, actually. Why do I do that? Oh, I think I know why I do that. And it's kind of a problem. It's kind of a problem. It's because you can click on the button multiple times, and that might break the universe. Let's just remove it for now. Yep. Okay. Yep. See, it triggers multiple times. And we want to sort of remove the event listener, but we want to reuse this logic. Ugh, what a mess. What a mess. So we called it start drawing. We probably want to call it eraser animation. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to hoist it. Start drawing if this dot drawing return. The reason I do this is to avoid, once you enter drawing mode, you don't exit. At least that's how it works right now. So I want it to work like that until we figure out a better solution. And if this dot drawing, eraser animation, please. And that's kind of it. Yep, so it invents an animation and immediately pauses it. Okay, so this should mean that it works as expected. But my one question is, what happens with dialogue elements? Will this be connected if dialogue is set to false? So we're going to wrap it with the dialogue, and we're just not going to do anything. We're going to say that it's closed to start. Is it connected? It is! That's really unfortunate. That's not what I wanted at all. So even though it's hidden, it still does the eraser animation, which is a mess. That is absolutely a mess. I thought it would remove it from the DOM, but it doesn't. I think we need to manually remove it from the DOM ourselves. Okay. I don't know, man. I don't know what to do about that. I don't know what to do about that yet. I think we'll have some JavaScript state on the dialogue or something. I don't even know where it'll be tracked, but it will forcefully keep it out of the DOM until it's ready. And it's easy enough to do that just with a template. Like you just create a template tag. This doesn't mount it in the document until you say it's ready. So we'll have some JavaScript that toggles this template. And I have a utility for this called toggle template. And we'll call toggle template to force it into the DOM and start drawing right away. I think that makes sense. We could also just call the start drawing method, huh? Yeah, it wouldn't be the biggest deal if we just did that. I don't know. I think I'm running low on time, but we're getting somewhere with this. It's a tough problem. I didn't even expect this problem to exist, but we got most of the way there. I'm really impressed with this. I'm also going to turn this back on because I want to see your lovely faces before I sign off here. But how long did we stream? We streamed for a good 3.5 hours. That's a good stream. No doubt. But yeah, we learned a lot about view transitions that we didn't need to know. We figured out how to animate this whiteboard in and out of a state. We have an about page now. We're looking good. Yeah, camera's back. Camera's back. Don't worry. I mean, I know about the camera. Why is everyone mad about the camera? I know. I'm controlling the situation. I wanted to turn on the camera when I had battery, and now I do. Chill out. Stop talking. Stop it. It doesn't make any sense. Hi. Okay, so we'll figure out what we're doing with the dialogue at some point. We're going to need to get the timing perfect to get the animation and everything running at the right time. I don't even know if templates are a right answer. Maybe we need to tell the web component to do something at the right time. It's mounting and unmounting, which is a really tough line to walk. But we'll get there. I think we will get there. And then with that, we have a beautiful about page, we have a beautiful home page, and a beautiful blog. And our mobile view will be more or less finished. I think we'll need some padding and some margin, but the design is there. If we can get tiny whiteboard in the corner. Small whiteboard. That's good. So I feel like we're on a home stretch here. At least a little bit. I think we're on a home stretch. I'm feeling good about it. We have some hours to go. I know myself. Isn't that the point of me writing in so late? It's a way to know about it, and it's more obnoxious. Yeah. I appreciate the delay. It's really helpful. Really good stuff. Thank you. Gosh. I appreciate you care about the stream, though. Small whiteboard is fun. I like it. Okay, so I'm a raid someone, but y'all were excellent company. You helped me through some problems, as always. That's why I stream live. Big whiteboard is necessary. I mean, it's got to get big if you want to, make it drawable. Imagine if you had to draw on a 10 by 20 whiteboard on your phone. That'd be a mess. But yeah, it's going to look good. I got to go work out, probably. Go for a run. And do chores. Always a fun time. I'm moving soon. I'll have to buy another whiteboard. Oh, I know that feeling. I put the whiteboard at the bottom of my building next to a trash can. And I was like, oh man, what a waste. This whiteboard was very fun to use. But it's going to go to the trash compactor. And then it came down later while I was moving more stuff. And the whiteboard disappeared. The trash was still there, so the trash man didn't take it. I like to think some family with like a little 5-year-old that wants to draw on a whiteboard for fun saw it and decided this is going to be a cute little whiteboard for our house, and we're going to take it. It's a quaint idea. I don't know if that really happened, but I like to think it did. The whiteboard passed on. It was also a steal. I will say, you couldn't flip it. This spring loader right here that lets you flip the whiteboard was broken, but otherwise it was in good shape. I keep it clean, as you can see. There aren't any scratches on it. Thanks for the stream. Yeah, well, it'll be a good workout for sure. And what do I want to raid? Lori Wired is a vibe. Cybersecurity office hours. Is that too intense? It might be. Melky is also live. Pirate Software is also live. What do we think? I think I'm gonna raid Lori Wired because y'all probably don't know who that is. Oh, Melky? Okay. Was a painted steel or enameled steel? This is painted. This is painted, I'm pretty sure. So you could scratch it pretty easily. There's paint underneath this. But it looks pretty good. All right, I'll do Milky just because you said so. But Lori Wired is also a cool streamer. Cool format on the YouTubes. If you ever look up Lori Wired on YouTube, she's got a cool format. It was a terrible pun because you said it was a steal. I missed it. That's good. Good on you. Appreciate the puns. Drop a follow, by the way. I stream around this time. Oh, I already raided Melky. It's kind of... Well, it's not over, I guess. I can hit cancel, and I can raid someone else. Let's do it. Lori Wired. Enjoy. And I haven't seen her stream. I hope it's good. I don't know cybersecurity, so who knows? But, yeah. Yeah. Not Melky. He scammed me for 1K channel points. Sheesh. That's rough. You've had a rough go of it, friend. Oh, yeah, but drop a follow. I stream around this time on weekdays, usually on Thursdays. Can't guarantee anything, but I have a streamer schedule. So if you follow, you'll get notified. Capiche?